Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Hivemind Recap Podcast. April 2023 is done, and we are finally caught up. It's the first week of May, and we're actually doing this episode on time. Crazy concept.
For once, yes.
For once. Well,
finally, man.
I feel like for once could have been a good response when we were starting this out, but I feel like we've been pretty good about getting it done within like the first week of the month generally, up until this year.
We did some really good writing in March and April. So,
yeah, we definitely caught up. Make sure to go check out our previous two episodes if you haven't, especially our March recap last episode. So much incredible music last month. But let's talk about April, because April did not slow down with the banger releases. We got a lot of singles to talk about. We got 2 EPs, 5 albums. Before we get into it, follow us on social media at HiveMindRadio_ on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow us on Spotify, Hivemind Radio Recap. And then on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Hivemind Radio. We are so close to 100 subscribers. Please help us get there. It would be awesome. Anyway, any of you guys go to any concerts last month in April?
I did not.
Yes, I did. I've talked about it in like the past 2 episodes, but I'll keep it brief. I went to the Spirits tour, which was Nothing More, Crown the Empire, and Thousand Below. I didn't stay for Nothing More, and I've talked about Crown the Empire in recent episodes, so I'll just talk about Thousand Below. They're great. I met James. I think that's my 7th time seeing them, which is crazy. Unfortunately, there was like some person on the subway tracks, so I missed like the first 2 songs, one of them was Hell Finds You Everywhere, which is really sad because I haven't seen that live. Yeah, it was really good. I met James again, and yeah, 7th time. The band I've seen the most live is Thousand Below.
I would hope so. I feel like you missed out with Nothing More, but then again, I also know you don't really care for that band too much. So
it was nice getting home early, actually.
Fair, yeah.
I haven't gone to this, of course, because it's happening next month. But the boys on Nerve that we did an After Hours episode with are finally coming to the East Coast. They're going on the Secrets tour, and it's gonna be a fucking blast. I think it's them. It's them, Varsity, and someone else, I think, for the Fallen Dreams.
I will have lots of updates next month.
Yeah, man, you're going to like what?
3.
How many? Yeah.
3? Yeah. I'm not going to any.
I'm not either.
I will go to one.
Cowards.
I might be going to 2 shows in June. We'll talk about that later.
Yet undecided. Oh, wait, no, I can't go to that. Shit! I was gonna say I might still go to Prada, but I'm not gonna be in town, so I won't be able to. That's why that fucking sucks, man. I will see Color Decay. They haven't gone on a Color Decay headliner yet, right?
No, they did the zombie tour last year.
Perfect. So I will be going whenever that headliner goes. And that makes me feel better.
I'll let you know how the new songs are next week.
Oh, man.
With that being said, should we just get right into it then?
I think we should.
Let's get going.
Derek, take it away.
Left to Suffer are, we'll say, back. They don't take very short breaks at all. With their newest single, Disappoint Me.
I always trusted you, but you disappoint me.
Which is just 2 minutes and 19 seconds of Left to Suffer doing what they do best, and that's making groovy deathcore. I think this band's only been around for like 3 years now at this point, and they are honestly one of the best and most consistent bands in all of deathcore, I would say. And that's like from the jump too, like from the start, they're making incredible stuff. And then I think it was called Depression was the EP from, it was On Death. Depression was one of the songs on there. And it was like this really cool concept album about death. And the songs are called in order: Event, Denial, Anger, Bargaining, Depression, and Death. which is so cool. And I really, really love this. I think they've dropped 3 singles now, and this is by far my favorite. I think the mosh call of Disappoint Me is a little like weirdly delivered, but I can look past it because everything else is so good, and the breakdown is just so groovy and heavy. And
yeah, that's all I was gonna say. I don't really care for the vocals at all in this, especially when it gets
really
low.
you
Yeah, I don't really care for the vocals, especially when they get really low. That breakdown call it into the groovy guitar riff is nuts.
Yeah, it's yeah, he sounds like the guy from, what is that, Corn Disturbed, one of those boomer bands. Yeah, that one.
So Derek, what you're saying is this song did not disappoint you.
No, this song did not disappoint me. I have multiple reasons that it didn't.
Disappoint me did not disappoint.
No. Speaking of reasons, Jacob, how about you tell us about this next one?
Who is this by? Excision and Wooly and The Devil Wears Prada have released a collab called Reasons.
They have not just released a collab, they have released the song of the year.
I don't know about that.
I also don't know about that. Slow down, bucko.
My bad.
If you narrow it down to an individual Derek and his perspective,
then yes.
I think there's an argument to be made.
Population of the Earth, Derek.
Right, exactly. Based solely off my Google Doc, this is the song of the year. I know, I mean, obviously that sentiment is not shared, but like, how are we feeling about this individually?
I think Jacob and I have the same sentiment where it's really good at the start until you get the breakdown. And I think the breakdown just kind of hits you too much out of the loop of it. I feel like if it blended better, it would have caught me more and been more replayable.
I agree with Justin. I think this song is great until you get to the beat drop.
Yeah,
but then once you eventually, like partway through the beat drop, you get Mike from The Devil Wears Prada, like he adds some vocals in it, and I think from there on it's good. And I'm really glad they used Jeremy a lot on this song.
Right?
That's what I was gonna say. Anytime that they lean into Jeremy's clean vocals, I am instantly more likely to enjoy the song. I'm kind of in the boat with Justin and Jacob that as soon as it gets into that EDM beat drop, I kind of tap out of it. But otherwise, like for what it is, being an EDM metalcore crossover collab type of song, I think this is solid.
It's not even the EDM drop kind of throwing me out. Like I like a lot of them. I think it's Illenium is how you say it.
Illenium, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of his stuff is kind of similar, especially with like the I Prevail collab they did. That was one that I really liked.
Did you get to listen? This is a little off topic. Did you get to listen to Illenium's new album?
I haven't touched it. No, not yet.
You should.
Missing a couple good songs.
It's on my radar.
We're not talking about it at the end of this episode, but
maybe we'll talk about it at the end of the year. Jake seems to.
No, we are.
I don't think so. I think
it's
like
gonna be Derek. It would be Derek if anybody.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be me. So, dude, I think that's interesting for me that's all like your least favorite parts of the song because it's my favorite, and it's like probably my favorite musical moment of the year. I love absolutely, and I think it's that I can't remember when I did. I don't know if it was just in the Discord or on the podcast, but I made like this realization about like I listened to EDM for so fucking long before I got into metal, and that the comparisons between like cleans and melodic dubstep and uncleans and like kind of that heavier rhythm sort of thing and breakdowns comparison to bass drops. And I think that this song is probably the clearest example of that I've seen because Jeremy's cleans fit right in with the melodic drop. And I think that Mike's Uncleans, how aggressive and raw they are, do a fantastic job pairing with that heavier drop and also leading up to it. Like the way that he steadily increases like the aggression on his voice as it builds is like, I get hyped and giddy every time I hear it. It's like the closest I can think of like moment that like makes me like that interested in a song every time I hear it is the fake drop in Night of Silence by Era. That it just always puts a smile on my face no matter what I'm doing, you know. I don't know. I haven't hidden my love for EDM ever, and I think that this year especially there's been so much good shit that I've just fallen right back into that hole. And this is coming off of Color Decay being my album of the year last year. You know, I think combining those two it's just a match made in heaven. And I love both Excision and Wooly as artists, so it's like the dream triple combo.
As I said at the beginning of this, if you narrow down the scope to a specific Derek,
Right,
this
exactly.
can be song of the year.
A specific Derek.
Yes.
Yeah.
A very specific Derek.
Derek in his EDM era, which always seems to come back every 2 years. It's a ghost that haunts me. Speaking of songs of the year, Holding Absence have dropped their newest single, A Crooked Melody.
Derek feasting at the beginning of this episode.
They
Oh,
have dropped
man.
their single. This is the best Holding Absence song.
I wouldn't go that
Man.
far. I think it's really good.
It's between this Coffin and Afterlife, I think.
I would say if not this, maybe Die in a Lover's Arms.
Ooh, wait, that's a good
Hello.
one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's either Gravity or Die Alone in Your Lover's Arms. And I feel like depending on the day, I can make an argument for either of them. This Holding Absence song, I think it's fine. There it is. I said it. It's fine.
Yeah, there we go.
Cross it off on the bingo card.
Damn, that's
Like,
quick.
this song, it doesn't do, I don't know. It's not hitting the emotional chord that Holding
What?
Absence typically does.
Nah, this brother is lost. Yo, Jake, you need a map, dog. You need a map to this fucking song. You are lost as a hello. Let me just.
Need a mess.
I
I
Is this
think,
anyone hello? Jake?
I'll take your map if you have one. I don't know if I'll follow it, but
Listen to the song and then pull up the lyrics. Words will take you places.
something, sing
hold on.
myself a crooked melody, something.
Prove
Prove me why I'm wrong.
This is. I feel like it's almost heavier for Holding Absence instrumentally.
Yeah, it is. Maybe they're going off the vibe of that Alpha Wolf Split EP.
That's what like
Oh, dude, I forgot.
when I heard this, I was like, "This is strange. I don't really like. I don't know if I like Holding Absence sounding like this."
It's almost like a blend of Afterlife and Coffin. If
It
I had
really
to
is.
if I had to like put a blend.
Well, and like I said, those are my other two favorite Holding Absence songs. So
Oh.
you put them together, you give me this one. It's like, oh, you know,
Like, give me
This-
more. Yeah,
This
absolutely.
was my song of the year before I heard Reasons. So to me, you know what this is? This is Holding Absence gone Dayseeker. I get a very, or specifically maybe Dark Sun, because
Actually,
that synth,
yeah. The synth. I was about to say, yeah. the synth.
It feel like if you put Rory Rodriguez on this song, it would work perfectly as a Dayseeker song, I think.
It would.
And so that's sort of, I mean, Holding Absence's kind of vibe or motif is incredible as it is, but when you combine it with something that leans more into something like a Dayseeker, forget about it. I think you're right, Jacob. This is a little different, and I think it's maybe a bit more personal. Like, I feel like a lot of their other songs, at least off of The Greatest Mistake of My Life, were very like deep and introspective, but they were about like, I don't want to say general topics, but maybe outside events and less introspective. Whereas this
Right.
feels more like Lucas just writing. I mean, I'm assuming he's writing.
I I
Not
feel their
good.
first album kind of is more like that, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
No, I agree. I mean, I haven't listened to it in forever, but
I
remember,
haven't. I don't listen to much of that album other than like Wilt. So
Mm.
I should
It's-
move on.
Yeah. But
God, if
Anyway.
if we ever need like an early episode title, I really like. Do you need a map?
yeah, that's.
I'm the map. I'm the map.
The genius page marching towards Jake.
If we're going with the map analogy, I would, instead of following the map to find the correct location of being able to enjoy this song, I would find the nearest ocean and drown.
I'm sure that's what Eric would want to do to you after the
I-
melody.
I gotta say, man, I saw this transition was like coming, but I still couldn't believe it when I heard it. Like, as it was progressing, I'm like, surely not, right? Like, we're not gonna go here.
Now we went
No.
there. Dark Divine have released their new song, Drown.
Drowning in the worst of ourselves.
I heard this shit early. They played it on the tour with Until I Wake and Catch Your Breath. And this shit was really good live. I was very excited to hear it come out, hear it through my headphones and all that. And yeah, it's great.
Video version.
The guitars sound super crisp. You get a in the breakdown that sounded nasty live just as well.
Love a good blend.
Yep. This is just like solid. This is really solid. Dark Divine, they released their, I don't know if it's like an EP or an album last year. I think it's an EP.
The Halloween Town.
Yeah.
That's an EP.
I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it for the most part. There was a couple standout songs, a couple of songs that didn't really blend together. This song feels like it has its own identity to me, and I'm hoping that they can continue with that with the further singles that they are going to be dropping later this year, hopefully. I believe they have their debut album in the works. Don't quote me on that, but definitely an up-and-coming band to be paying attention to. They put on a fantastic live show as well, so...
Unfortunately, I'm not sold on this. I adore the chorus, but the heavier vocals just aren't doing it for me.
Oh, I'm the opposite. I don't like the cleans.
And I'm right in the middle, where I enjoy both.
I'm in the middle, but I'm not like high on both. You know what I mean? Like I'm like
Christ, we are
I'm
the
2
fucking
tiers
four.
down from Jay. Yeah, man. There has been some disconnect tonight, folks. Us four on this song, Jake with reality.
That would be a perfect time to mention Disappoint Me, and that's Jake right now.
Yeah, exactly, Jake. You know what?
I will say, I will credit this band. I've heard a couple things from the band from the last EP, and it was pretty good.
Oh yeah.
It's good to know that like a band can instill like different emotions and like how their sounds between just the four of us. There's no telling how many people are enjoying this. Like they have like fucking 118,000 monthly listeners.
Really?
Before a debut album.
I thought that they were honestly a lot less.
I thought it was below 100,000.
Yeah, exactly. Well, shit, good for them, man.
Yeah.
No, I feel like they're another one of those bands that I can always count on, that even if maybe I don't love everything or everything's not for me, I'm not going to hear a bad song from
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's how I feel about the debut EP. Like, I don't love every song on there, but I can listen to all 7 songs on it and be like, yeah, I enjoyed that. There wasn't a song on there I didn't enjoy,
I think overall, looking at this list, I think this might be the strongest month of singles we have ever had.
Really?
That's a bold claim.
I thought this was the weakest one this year.
Really?
Yes.
Oh man, I think.
That's a
See,
bad
here's the thing.
take.
Well, January had Sleep Tonka, so...
Well, yeah, he's biased.
I mean, this month does too.
I'm ignoring him.
Man, I had to be eaten with singles of this month because I didn't like get around to or like really get into any album.
No, I don't think this is the worst. Actually, February is pretty bad.
I think February has the strongest singles of this year so far.
Okay, next song. We're not talking about.
All I'm saying. Let me. I want to say this really quickly. That out of the 28 singles, I think I have 20 saved, and 5 of my top 10 songs of the year are here. So,
that's about how I feel about February. So
And then he thought February was the weakest. Yeah.
Justin, take us on this next one.
We got a debut single. It's a band called Spirit Leaves with their song Killjoy.
Sorry, I was already playing this and listening to it, and I forgot that we weren't on it. So when you told Justin to take the next one, I thought you were giving him Veil of Maya, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
This is really fucking good for a debut.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is incredible for a debut.
We normally when we talk about debuts, there's always that you kind of notice that there's some sort of beginning production hurdle that most debuts artists are kind of facing. This band sounds crisp right out of the gate. They've apparently been working on it for about a year before the single actually dropped.
Well, the time was well spent because this is a great song.
It's really good,
and it shows a lot of promise for what they could do in the future. I don't know whether they have an EP cooking or just singles or maybe even an album, but definitely a smaller band, up and coming to keep your eyes on.
I really love that you can hear the bass in this. The fact that the bass line is distinct. I love when bands do that. Don't muddle the bass. I think they do a great job of it. Time the Evaluator does a great job of it. I really enjoyed this. I didn't expect this to be you. Once I narrowed it down, because I had it with it so I couldn't see who put it in here, and I honestly expected this maybe to be more like a Jacob. It gave me those vibes. I don't know why.
Jake sent this to the
this was
Discord.
So I was completely wrong.
This is a YouTube recommended feed.
No, Derek, you actually added this song. Don't you remember?
Oh fuck!
Oh no! The rare time that YouTube recommended stays winning.
Yeah,
man. Every once in a while they do. It's not often, but
for every 10 or so, or maybe even more mediocre bands, eventually YouTube recommended will feed you a band like Spirit Leaves, and it will all be worth it.
You need to multiply that by several 50 or so for every band on Space Untraveled.
I remember. Oh, never mind. We'll talk about it another day.
I mean,
I was gonna say I've heard a top 5 worst song of all time on Space on Travel. It sticks with me to this day. I'm gonna post it in chat so we can look at it later if you want to. It's fucking horrible. Anyway. I'm next.
What the song is.
I do. It's anyway. Speaking of songs that suck, this next one doesn't suck. Veil of Maya have dropped their newest single, Mother Part 4. Which I think is the last one before the album. I'm not positive.
The album's gonna be great, I think.
Okay, yeah, and it's probably the last one. Dude,
I think this is the best single.
It is, easily. It is the only one that's really caught my attention. The other ones have been way too Veil of Maya-y. It's too genty. It gents too hard.
Man, I wish it had more Viscera or Outsider.
Exactly.
As an outsider, I like this.
What the fuck?
I liked the start. I liked the first half until it got Veil Maya-y.
Okay, that's the whatever. I don't know. I can't English.
You need a map, Jake. Get the map. Come on.
Exactly.
No, I need a map, a dictionary. I need a dictionary, not a map.
Taking this guy to school.
So what I'm hearing is Justin likes the first 45 seconds.
Yes.
There's just synth.
I don't
You
see a
know-
problem with that.
Man, you know what? I didn't. I'm in my EDM era. Justin's in his gent era. You know, it's all coming together. Unprocessed was the gateway. It's
It
all
happened.
coming together.
A lot can happen in 45 seconds.
Man, yeah. I'd say that's even a pretty long time for things to happen. I would be even.
What's that Lorna Shore song that I like the opening instrumental to? This is Justin's version of that.
Oh yeah, probably.
Jake likes Lorna Shore.
No.
Jake and his deathcore.
I like the opening instrumental to that 1 6-minute song that has no vocals for the first minute.
Which
I
one
don't
is
even remember.
that?
Dude, that's like fucking all of them. I think you just named every Lorna Shore song.
Don't ask me the name, and I never went back to it after the second time.
Eddie is reeling in the chat.
Doesn't understand what's going on, bro. Man, you know what I like most about this Veil of Maya song is, you know how like a self-titled album is supposed to be like a kind of definition of like what a band can do.
Hard
They
Times
could have
Play.
just named, yeah. They could have just named this song "Veil of Maya." I think because it's got the cleans, it's got the uncleans, it's got synth, it's got breakdowns, it's got genty riffs, it's got genty riff downs. It's everything Veil of Maya does best in one song, and it feels a little weird and disjointed at times, but somehow it kind of doubles back into being cohesive with how disjointed it is. It's strange, but it never feels like it's 5-minute runtime. I feel like when I listen to it, and
I cannot believe I haven't seen this band live.
oh man, I will say, as a medium Veil of Maya fan,
As a
every
Mikasa
song,
fan.
yeah, as a fan of Mikasa and the 3 singles that dropped before this album for the album that got scrapped and then made into this one.
That's
Every song live bangs, and they all sound the same. You could have told me
until
that
you
they
hear
played
Align the Stones.
Yeah, exactly, man. Look, if you played that set for me, I would think that it was like that 1 21-minute Periphery song, and then they played Mikasa, and then got off stage. But they are really good live. I gotta say, he sounds phenomenal. So I'm glad I got a single that I can enjoy off of the upcoming Veil of Maya album, because it's been so, I feel like, longly anticipated, considering they wrote and pretty much finished another album before this and then threw it away. So hopefully the rest of this album will be better than the singles, because I'm not really feeling the other singles all that much.
I agree.
We got a Justin band or two coming up.
We got a few on the playlist. We're gonna start off with new artist for the podcast. Just one guy. It is Young Sid with his song "Lawless."
Spit my secrets out your mouth. You've been talking way too loud. Think I want this life alone.
How are we feeling about this?
Am I the only one who thought this was a Nickelback song?
You thought this was Nickelback?
Weird.
Sounds like it.
There's something about his vocal inflection that does bring me back to like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay, yeah.
kind of grungy.
I
don't know if I like it.
That I'll agree with.
it's like a grungy style.
I like his more Queen vocal delivery than the grungy vocal delivery, and that's kind of where I'm sitting.
Mhm.
That's kind of where I'm at.
I would say this is like his vocal style is most grungy in this song. He's released a couple of singles earlier this year that I didn't get a chance to add just because we were stacked for like what we had to talk about. He had a Paul Bartolome single with Paul Bartolome's feature that was doing pretty well. He had an album, I think, last year or at one point that I really enjoyed. I just found it too late to like add it to anything. But it was pretty good, and this stacks up to it. A lot of that album didn't have a lot of that grungy style, so I think it's probably gonna be more up kind of a general Lobby's alley. But honestly, no, this guy, for being one person, is really talented.
I can't disagree with any of what you said. I just stylistically, I don't think it's fully for me.
Reasonable.
I honestly like this quite a bit. It didn't quite reach that threshold because I remember you tagging about it, and I listened to it and I was kind of okay on it. It's grown on me as I've listened to it, but it's not quite past that threshold yet where I'm saving it. But I think that if it's trending in this general direction from him, that I will get one eventually. Because you've sent a couple and I've listened to a couple, and it feels like they keep getting better with every listen. So
Right.
hopefully next couple of singles by the end of this year. That's, people have like New Year's resolutions. My 2023 resolution is to have one Young Sid song in my playlist by the time the year is finished.
Make it happen.
Perfect.
Otherwise, no, he's a cool guy. Like, I've messaged him a couple times. He's from the UK and he does a lot of like really good work. So, but let's get a move on because we've got a lot to talk about. We've got It Comes in Waves back again with another song off their upcoming album, I guess, the Identity Collection. This is Glass House.
It Comes
Not
in Waves.
my favorite,
Man.
but it's good.
They do instrumentals fucking well.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Unbelievably well.
I knew, like, I came to that conclusion when they dropped the first single for this upcoming project. This is a confession, but man, it just continues. They do such a good job.
This one wasn't sticking with me for some reason. I don't know why. I will say that this is the first time that their unqueen vocals have really worked for me. The other singles that I haven't saved into my playlist are all ones that are like more lean into their harsher vocals. I forget, was it like Betrayal? Is that the name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was Betrayal. Burn was another one.
Yeah, but like the songs that lean more into the queen vocals, like This Is a Confession and especially Not Too Late, I've really enjoyed more. Not to say that Glass House is bad by any means, but it wasn't the most memorable song for me. It didn't get stuck in my head the way some of their other singles have. So I will leave you guys with the 4 for the rest of this now.
No, I was gonna say this is like, I would say in the top 3 of In Comes in Waves. I still think This Is a Confession is their best song that they've put out. But I think this and then Not Too Late, I would say, are like really close behind it. But
I want to shout out. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, put a release date out, cowards. You can go ahead.
Oh yeah, they need to, because I feel like all the singles have been really good, and I want to give a special shout out to these singles' album arts, because I feel like they're 4 for 4 at this point, and they're really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're AI generated or what, but whoever their graphic like designer is that they've got doing this, they need a raise, because these have all been fantastic. I think if I had seen Not Too Late, whatever it's called, like before we did the awards show, well, I couldn't have. I guess it came out December 30th, but it would have been like at least a runner-up for album art of the year. I feel
like if any of them, you would put Safe Haven, because that's the one with the wings.
Yeah. Man, they have just the best single art of all time.
It's really good.
Except for Don't Call, which is just them standing together.
I have no idea. I have no idea if that's part of the album. Who knows?
I would maybe assume not. I don't know, actually.
I would assume not. I think it's just kind of a one-off thing. I don't even remember.
I'm sorry. I'm scrolling through their discography. Did they cover We Are Number One?
Yes.
Is that what this is? Wow. Oh, they have a Kellen Quinn feature.
Of course they do.
Speaking of bands that I think would cover We Are Number One, Annisokay have released Human.
Bro, Lusky's somewhere like crying and punching the air right now. Like
I honestly could see this band doing it.
they could. I feel like they would tie it into some sort of social issue in a really tacky way, though. You know?
I actually like the song.
Yeah,
I know Jake
really
was gonna.
good.
I thought Jake was gonna remove it, and then I heard
I
it this
was-
morning, and I was like, "Wait a minute, he should remove this."
Of all the songs that I added for the singles this month, this was going to be the one to go if I had to remove any. However, Breakdown. Holy fuck.
Breakdown,
That is all.
good. That really is. all.
This is an early Breakdown of the Year contender. It's in the conversation at the very least. It reminds me of the breakdown from Pulling Teeth by Of Mice and Men that just keeps on getting fucking slower for whatever fucking reason, and it's just stupid chunky and heavy, and it didn't have to, but it is. Especially the second part of this breakdown is just filthy, disgusting. Any sort of disgusting word you could use to describe a breakdown is applicable for this song. But then I also really like how this song fades out after it, where you get the slow delivery of the chorus with a piano backing tone as like a very somber way to end the song. You get this like explosion of a breakdown, and then like the aftermath of the explosion is just like the silence. And I really like that dichotomy of how this song ends. Otherwise, this is just another solid Annisokay song. I love his clean vocals, as per usual. And the harsh vocals are doing it for me as well, so.
I think the cleans are stopping me from getting into this band. I don't know why.
I think for me, it's the lyricism.
Oh, that is bad too. Yeah.
Their lyricism isn't always the best, but for whatever reason, this band's lyricism, it either I don't care for it, and therefore I'm still able to enjoy the song, or sometimes I actually think there's like one or two lines that are good enough to make me like care. I don't know. I'm not off put by this band's lyricism like ever, really, other than the disappointment that was Bonfire of the Millennials, which had so much potential.
I forgot about that. I repressed that song out of my head.
Yeah,
that
me too,
song
honestly.
name still had. I still stand by that song having so much potential in it, just not.
You know what? They're bringing awareness to important issues in their own special way, and good for them.
You know, it'd be cool if they did like a song in German, because they're German, right?
I would be down for that.
I would be too. Maybe then I could get into it, because I wouldn't be able to understand what they're saying.
It's like We Butter the Bread with Butter.
Yeah, exactly.
Except totally serious.
I want to see that split EP. We Butter the Bread with Butter and Annisokay. They're talking about important social issues, and then suddenly, bam, breakdown about scooters. We have a very special next song. Woe Is Me are back after, I think, 11 years.
100 years.
Yeah, 100 years.
3,000 years.
Are back with
This is
their
so
new
stupid.
single. Whoa, fuck, Ghost.
Ghost. The song is called Ghost. For anybody
It's called
who missed
Ghost. It's called Ghost. I'm trying to say their newest single, Woe Is Me. Hey guys, why is this so good?
Because it's Woe Is Me, and they're pulling at the fucking 2010 era heartstrings.
Oh,
I have never
Dude.
listened to any of this band's material ever before. Derek posted this in the chat. I gave it a listen. I got like halfway through a song, and I'm like, yep, that one's going into the playlist. God damn, this is good.
Hell yeah.
hell yeah. Jacob?
It's
I
okay.
don't even know.
It's fine.
No, no,
Yes! He
not
said
allowed.
it!
Oh,
He said the thing.
It's fine.
Oh no.
God.
No. I thought for sure this could be the one. Oh man.
It's fine.
Oh, I'm gonna hit you
This is
back
the
with
most
that
disappointed I've
very
been.
soon.
Are you
Yeah,
kidding
man.
me? There's no way you say that about that song.
I'm mostly joking. Dude, this is just so for context, for those at home who may not know about Woe Is Me, this was originally Tyler Carter and Michael Bone who formed the whatever it's called, the core part of Issues afterwards. And they dropped I think it was Delinquents. I'm not entirely positive. Let me double check. In 2000, or his Numbers in 2010. Phenomenal album. I mean, like in the Crabcore era, they were really ahead of their time. And then Tyler Carter left and they replaced him with Hans Allgood, and then they dropped Genesis in 2012 and then disbanded because Michael Bond had left the band and it was just over. And then Issues dropped a Woe Is Me diss track and put the nail in the coffin. Ghost is back with everybody from 2012 plus Michael Bone again, doing both cleans and uncleans. And I forgot how fucking good at singing Hans Allgood was, because this chorus is unreal.
It's huge.
Really good.
Dude, I did not put enough respect on him when Genesis dropped. You know what? Well, not that I was listening to it then, but I heard it for the first time. I'm like, yeah, this is okay. I don't know if I was just missing something back end, or if he is just done a bunch of vocal training or what. But like, oh my goodness, everything about this. The verses, in contrast with the chorus, I feel like make the chorus so much bigger. The breakdown, it's kind of short, but it's great. It doesn't overstay its welcome. The song's a little generic, but considering the fact that it's Woe Is Me in 2023, I don't even care. Like, and everybody in this band is just so fucking talented that it makes up for all of it.
I think this is like the perfect modernization of like that 2010 kind of late 2010 era sound.
Oh, absolutely.
I need more. I need an album.
I think that if I whatever it's called, if you would have told me like a year ago, be like, hey, Woe Is Me are back with Michael Bond and they're on track to drop album of the year for the next year, I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Let's get you back to bed, grandma. But like this, they've done it. Woe Is Me, 11 years later, are now in contention for album of the year. So hopefully the rest of the material is as strong as this. I believe there is an album in the works. I think they wanted to get this out to be like, hey, we're back type of thing. And I think we can expect an album by the end of the year, maybe 2024, early 2024. Whenever it drops, serious album of the year contender, because so good. A song in my top 10 songs of the year currently. Also in my top 10 songs of the year currently is the new single from Stryer featuring Concrete Castles called Stronger.
This one's a banger, boys.
This one is a banger.
Yup. Jacob with the good takes.
Wait. Justin.
They won't last
Hi, it's
long.
me. What's up?
What do you think about this?
I mean, it's good.
Let's go.
It's not something that I would put on repeat a lot, but it's good.
In contrast, I put it on repeat 50 times the night it dropped.
We got like stormtrooper lasers in the back at the end.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of, it's not even my favorite part of the song, but the drops, the timing on the way that, like, where it gives space in between the beats, it feels so strange, but I like it. It's weird. I haven't really heard anybody else do that ever. Why is this an unstoppable duo?
Because they're stronger.
I think really, it's just Concrete Castles are incapable of missing.
Yeah, I think actually that is a very good take.
You put Concrete Castle's name on anything, and it's probably, I mean, it is going to sound good.
Yo, mind-blowing idea right now.
Yeah.
Imagine a tour with Bad Omens headline and Concrete Castle's opening.
Banger.
Ooh.
Banger.
Concrete.
You didn't even have to tell me support and I'd go. The fact that we got Concrete Castles on it. All right, hold on. We're diverting for a second. Who else is on that tour? Say we got 2 more opener slots. Who do we got?
Era and IC Stars.
All right, perfect.
Just throw Concrete Castle on the tour.
I was gonna say Spirit. I think we throw a Spiritbox sleep token on that and just call it a day.
Oh, we call it
Tell
the
me that
overrated tour.
Oh.
Here's what
Or,
I'm
no, actually,
Here-
no.
here's
More like
what
the
I'm thinking.
TikTok tour. That's the TikTok tour.
What
It
I'm
really
thinking
is.
Bad Omens against the current co-headliner with
Ooh.
Concrete Castles and some other band as like support.
Future
Like you get a
Palace.
pop rock, yeah, fuck it, Future Palace. I don't think it would happen, but
Man, I think this feature, my favorite line or like part of any of it is the first "I need you to be stronger than me." When that first "stronger," she goes up into kind of a falsetto type thing. It's so pretty. It's I think this song is perfect. I have no EDM is like 3 of my top 5 songs of the year right now, and wouldn't have expected that, but
Oh boy.
just keeps banger after banger.
a lot of the
This-
EDM metal crossover songs have like I'm put off by the EDM drops that lean more into like that dubstep kind of
Mhm.
sound. This one kind of leans into it, and I don't mind it. It's just mellow enough for me to be like, I fuck with this, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I think it helps that her vocals are so present throughout the entire song, even that
Yeah.
they're low during the drops and kind of repurposed and put in between sections of the drops. Like, I will give it 0 reasons. Definitely sounds maybe like 50-50 at most with vocals and the EDM. This definitely feels much more integrated in a more accessible way.
And it's also just that Audra has covered so many songs with First to 11 that like you can throw her voice onto seemingly any genre and
yeah.
it's going to work. So
Easily, I would say one of the most talented and also underrated vocalists in the scene.
yeah,
Because I feel like
Honestly.
what are Concrete Castles at, man?
the
I feel
monthly
like they're
listeners
not
are
high.
not there.
78,000?
Yeah, like what the fuck? Like this
Wait, what?
that should be at least like 300,000. Like,
I hate
Wait.
the fucking scene, man.
Wait, why is it that low? What the hell?
right?
Dude,
I
That's
feel like
what
it
I'm
was higher
saying.
than that when their album came out.
it was like
probably was.
150,000, I think.
Wow,
Dude.
people have been sleeping. It's because they didn't see the acoustic set that I saw.
The fact that the First to 11 YouTube channel can have over 1 million subscribers and Concrete Castles can't break 100,000 on Spotify is criminal.
Do people
That shit does not make sense.
people are lacking in taste is
Yeah.
what it has to be, because like why would you not pay attention? 78,000. That makes me mad. Stop what you're doing and go listen to Concrete Castles.
No.
Everybody.
If you aren't convinced, this is not the last time they're appearing in this episode.
No, you will have a chance to redemption if you didn't already plan to put it on.
Guys,
All
I
right,
have a question
Jacob.
for you. I got a question for you.
Yep.
Do you wish that you loved me?
I already do.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mm.
Sleep Token have released their, I'm going to assume their final single. Do you wish that you love me?
My reflection just won't smile back at me like I know it should. And I would.
I
As
love
soon,
this
as soon as I heard the
1975
transition,
song.
as soon as I heard the transition about Sleep Token, I went to sleep. Oops, it looks like I'm sweet talking.
Oh.
Oh,
Whoa. Yeah.
that's what I think about this song.
Sorry, God.
This is my song of the
Motherfucker
month.
muted
If
so he
anybody's,
could die off mic.
anybody's surprised, this is my song of the month. Also, Derek muted himself because he's laughing.
Losing his mind.
Oh God.
Oh, man. Bro, you sounded like Vessel was under the desk with you, bro. What is
Oh,
that?
Oh, what the?
What the hell?
Hey, man.
Mask on or off?
Stop!
Ooh.
Stop! Stop!
You know what? No, never mind.
Jake, save us.
Never mind. Hey,
I'm
Look,
completely
look,
asleep right
look.
now.
look. Yeah, Jake's lucky to be asleep for this.
Like
Man.
this is the one song that isn't horny on the album that we've heard so far.
we managed. We managed. You know, this sounds like 2016 to 2018 era, the 1975, which is a very good thing. And I was definitely like mostly joking earlier when I was going to tell you that this is fine, because I think that this is a great demonstration that Sleep Token, damn it, Jake, that Sleep Token could be very
can do
easily
anything.
mainstream if they wanted to be.
They
Yeah,
can do
and-
anything
Absolutely.
except
anything.
scream.
I mean,
Vessel can't
yeah,
scream.
no. As long as if you take Vor off of this list, they can do anything. All right, like it's good. But no, I do. I don't. I have no fucking clue what this album's going to sound like. None. I think at this point, and which is weird because all the singles you can definitely tell that they're Sleep Token songs, but none of them really sound like each other. So I know what the album's going to sound like. But at the same time, I have no idea.
I feel like the title track, which is 8 minutes, is gonna be like a summoning on steroids. That's what I feel like.
It has to be, man. Oh my goodness.
Anyways, I want to go into like lyrics of this song briefly.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think this song is not him talking to somebody else. I think it's him talking to himself in a mirror, wishing he loved himself.
That is, You know what? I think you're right.
It's
In
yeah,
whatever
like
capacity
a
can be
self
right, I think you're right.
self-reflection. Especially, I think he even mentions a mirror in one line.
Yeah. Let's see. You love me. Sleep Token. I'll find it. You keep going.
Oh, it's my reflection just won't smile back at me. That's what it is. I love the smile back at the end and the at me. Oh my god. My favorite part of the song.
It is. And in the third verse, it's getting harder to be myself. So I think you're spot on. I hadn't listened to this enough to catch on to that, which is criminal because
I
feel like
listened
it's
to
very
this
good.
too much.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like you and Eddie have been going back and forth with some insane numbers on this.
Yep. All right. Spiritbox have released their new single titled "The Void."
This is a banger. I
This is a
love it.
banger.
This is the best Spiritbox song.
This song is trash.
Dude, fuck you.
It's
What the hell? Oh, hell no.
just so boring, dude.
Oh, whatever,
Ah.
man.
It is so boring.
This man listens to Sleep Talk while I'm sleeping, and he calls the song boring.
Man. Dude. Okay, so what bores you about this? Is it just like the vibe? Does it feel like overdone? Like what isn't clicking for you?
Literally everything. I feel like lyrics don't do anything for me. I don't know. It's just,
You're
I don't
telling
know.
me
It's
that the
something-
line of "Where do my fears go when they die" ain't making you feel anything?
No, not at all. And honestly, I could not be. I honestly think Spiritbox is so overrated, and they have one chance, and that is tomorrow night to change my mind.
Oh.
Jacob,
I'm
anything
feeling-
else you want to say before us three can talk?
The Spiritbox is overrated.
All right. So
Oh.
let's talk about how fucking melodic and anthemic the chorus in this song is. It's
Beautiful.
It's just beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I love how the final chorus like slows it down even further. well, you get very up-tempo drums on the chorus, and just throughout the song in general, but you slow it down, make it even more melodic at the very end, and makes those vocal inflections, the just dragged out vocals, just hit that much harder. As I mentioned, that line in the second verse of "Where do my fears all go when they die?" I love that line. Courtney's voice sounds angelic. I love the instrumental riff down type of thing where there really aren't any harsh vocals in this song, but I don't think this song needs any. Courtney's clean vocals just sound amazing as is. And I'm not one of those types of people that only enjoy Spiritbox when they are heavy. So yeah, this song is fantastic. I spent a lot of time with it this month.
I don't know if I'm necessarily with Justin all the way on this being the best Spiritbox song, but I would say that my initial impression is that it's probably top 5.
I don't know where it would rank in my list, but I'd say it's better than Rotoscope and Sew Me Up from last year.
Oh, well, I don't know.
I mean, it's either this or Circle With Me. Ima.
Yeah, Circle With Me number 1 personally. The Void is like somewhere. It's like I don't know if it's exactly top 5, but it's up there.
Dude, I will agree with Jacob that I feel like I don't find a lot necessarily to connect with in the song because it's almost like old Silent Planet where not necessarily that same level of complexity, but you can sit there and appreciate the lyrics and not connect to them, or how I feel about maybe an Idola, that I think their lyrics are really creative. I think that this is a phenomenally written song, and it reminds me a lot of somewhere between the vocal melodies of Eternal Blue and the pacing of Secret Garden.
Yeah.
I
would agree with that.
I don't know, this song, even if I don't feel like a connection to it in the same way that I did Eternal Blue, it's definitely just pretty. This is just a pretty song. Like this song makes me think about like a meadow and like wind is blowing and there's just this really
I don't know if there's a
creek.
word for if there's like a synonym for like aesthetically pleasing but for your ears, but that's what this song is.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Funny that you say it reminds you of like meadows and stuff when the name of the song is The Void, like the literal opposite of what like a beautiful meadow would be.
Yeah, right. So the song should not be gay. But you know what? It's because I don't connect with the lyrics. I'm just feeling the vibe, and the vibe is the meadow.
I will report back next month after tomorrow. But as it stands right now, Spiritbox overrated.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about the superior female-fronted metalcore band.
He has a point.
Future Palace have released their new single, Malfast. I hope I pronounced that right.
It's a step back, all I try is a misstep. Oh my God, I've wasted too much time with this hatred. I'm really
Close enough, yeah. Malfast, I don't know, whatever. So, some lore for you. A Malphas is basically the second in command to Satan in like demon lore or whatever. Let me pull up the exact wording of in demonology, Malphas is a demon who first appears in something. Describe him as a mighty president of hell with 40 legions of demons under his command and is second in command under Satan. Yeah, okay.
I love it specific as 40, like they know.
Yeah. I don't know too much about that demonology shit, but I was like, what the hell is a Malphas? And I was, just like waiting in the premiere chat for this song to premiere on YouTube a day early because I was curious. And then I'm like, oh shit, this band is pissed off, huh? And they are. They're mad. The breakdown of this song is probably the heaviest that they have ever been. Maybe.
And it slaps.
Future Pals just don't miss.
That chorus is really fucking good.
Yeah. I also love the lyricism of this song. The first verse, you get hands are wrapping around my neck. Again, a really tight grip. I can't fight back. And then in the chorus, it says like, "Oh my god, I'm possessed by a Malphus," which is like very. I like how the lyrics tie together and all that. I feel like a lot of people like on social media. I've seen a lot of people going crazy for like, Maria's delivery on decay in the breakdown, which like I can barely even hear the word decay. It's like the first thing she says in the breakdown. I can't hear it. I don't feel like it's that crazy. Like, yeah, it's impressive, but I feel people are like, holy shit type of reaction when they hear that. And to me, it's just like, damn, this is a sick ass breakdown. I love the delivery on like the me, as it just gets like harsher and harsher as the instruments go on. You get blast beats in the breakdown. Song is sick. Maria's clean vocals in the chorus are massive as usual. Future Palace are one of the best female-fronted metalcore bands in the business right now.
I love this breakdown. I'm the opposite. My jaw dropped when she made that. What I didn't know it was a lyric. I thought it was just a noise in the breakdown. Holy fuck! Like, this is sick. This is probably one of, if not my favorite breakdown this year. Something about the rest of the song isn't doing anything for me. I think that like overall, this might be my least favorite Future Palace song.
Damn.
That feels weird, right? Like,
yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah, that's a bad take, Derek. I'm sorry.
Man, okay, I do not want to hear about bad takes from either of you, all right? It's my turn. It's my turn to have the bad take.
It's your turn to get bullied.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I don't know. Something about it. Maybe I just don't like German people. Is that it?
Don't you like Electric Callboy?
Not really.
What about we butter the bread with butter?
Maybe
I do like we butter the bread with butter. And I used to like Breathe Atlantis before the divorce of them and good music.
Divorce.
Dude, look, I don't know. I think it's something about the inflection of like the German accent on the cleans. I feel like it just doesn't translate well a lot of the time, at least for me, like for my personal taste. I don't know,
man.
I've never had a problem with it with this band, and suddenly this time it was like the cleans were doing it for me, and Annisokay wasn't doing it for me. I also want to say that Human by Annisokay, this song and the next song we're going to be talking about, all have the Animals riff in them.
This and does have like the Animals riff.
This one has it. Human has it.
Yeah.
The next one has it around the 1 minute 10 second mark.
Very much has an Animals-esque riff, and
No,
Animals does it better than any of them.
Yeah,
obviously, but Architects are kind of trendsetters, I guess.
I hope not.
Yeah, please God no. But I do think that it's funny that they had that riff that everybody stole from 2016, and then now they've created another one, and 3 years later, everybody's taking it again.
Don't care, song slaps.
Good breakdown.
Anyway, speaking of Germany, Our Promise have dropped their brand new song, Evoke.
I did not know Our Promise was German.
Yeah.
Today I learned.
Wait, they are?
Yeah, they are.
Dude,
Does that mean all three German bands took the Animals riff?
Yep.
This is actually not the last German band. This is actually not the last German band.
This
There's
isn't?
one more. No. There's one more. One of the albums.
Dude, why did I think this band was from Ireland?
I thought this band was just American.
No. Band is very
Dude.
much German.
I'm lost as a bitch. Oh, well, this wasn't too German for me. So I like this a lot. Our Promise, I was waiting for whatever it's called, the band to kind of put out something that could wow me, and they finally did it. I really like this a lot.
Yeah.
This is solid.
I don't think this is their best song, but this is another just solid metalcore song from Our Promise. They have yet to disappoint me. And even though this song isn't as memorable as Panic Waves or some of their older material with their old vocalist, I don't have anything to complain about when I listen to it. You get sick riffs, Great vocals. I mean, his queens in the chorus sound absolutely massive. And another solid ass breakdown. Just German metalcore, baby.
Shout out German metalcore, but also not shout out German metalcore. Probably the biggest love-hate relationship I have with any music at all. Me and Germany got beef.
Shame. Justin, did you have any thoughts on this one?
Nah, I didn't get to it.
Darn. Because I know you're like close to liking this band, so I'm hoping that one day it happens.
I think at this point I'm liking their features more than their actual stuff. And it's unfortunate. But it is what it is.
I don't have too much more to add. Let's just move on. Justin, take it away.
Cool.
Another new band.
We got another new band. That's what I'm here for, bringing out the cool, weird shit. We got Rise Up Lights with their song You Know Who You Are.
I can't take a new test in my patience. You can't take away all the memories that we made. You know who you are.
This band is a little pop punk band from, I believe, Florida.
Not Germany.
Not Germany.
No.
They had another single come out earlier this year called Felicity that I wanted to throw in, but again, because we had to catch up, I couldn't. Both singles this year have been really good for like pop punk kind of style, with also kind of blending like harsher vocals, especially having like a breakdown toward the end. I think I like Felicity a little bit more, but this has like a really good, well-balanced instrumentation to it.
I feel very similar about this song as I did Felicity. Very much just, it's fine. I'm going to wait for something to really wow me before I'm fully committed to this band.
This slaps.
Yeah.
This is incredible. I have no notes. I just sat here and I'm like, damn, I have experienced something fantastic.
You should give Felicity a try when you get the chance.
This is good, not great.
I'll take it.
He'll take it solid 6.
Look, I'll take a 1.5 out of 3. I think that's fine.
This is it. This is the one. This was probably this out of all the ones that like everybody else added to the playlist, this was my third favorite. Number 1 may surprise you. I'm clickbaiting you for later.
Yeah, I see.
Bait.
I don't honestly have much more to talk about. I feel bad because it is like a debut artist for our podcast, but it's
If they have an EP or something coming out later this year, I'm very interested to hear it though.
I have no idea
will
if they
say
do. They dropped an EP back in 2021, so maybe an EP. Could very well be an album, but we'll see. I don't have too much more to add just because it's kind of standard pop punk otherwise, but it's good. It sounds good. It's really well produced. What's also really well produced is a fucking new A Foreign Affair song called Rear View.
I'm happy to report, Justin, you got me with this one.
Yo, let's
You got me
go.
with this one.
You got me too.
Let's go, Jacob.
Hmm.
Don't say it.
Hmm.
Don't say
Jacob,
it.
you're better off staying silent. You're better off staying silent for your sanity.
This one's okay as well.
All right.
I'll take an okay. It's fine.
It's
too used
fine.
to that.
It's fine.
Okay. Back on my hit list.
Opening this song with want to keep my eyes off the rear view because I'm a sucker for the past and all the shit I put myself through. Oh, that shit hits.
See,
I know this song like very much leans into that idea of like a broken relationship and like wishing it was back together almost. But I also feel like you can interpret this song in like an introspective way of like
trying to forget about it.
Trying to forget about it, but also like there like a time where that you think back on negatively, but in the moment you really enjoyed it type of thing where it's like, I wish I could look back on this positively, but I can't.
Mm-hmm.
And that is very applicable to a certain year for me. So yeah, that particularly stuck out to me. And then I also just really enjoyed the chorus as well. His vocals are great. Honestly, I feel like this song just like took all of the potential of the other songs that you've put on the podcast, and it all came together on this one for me. So I'm still very excited for. I don't know if they got an album or an EP cooking.
Dude, they have to at this point. I think this is like 5th single.
Damn. But I'm definitely very curious to see some sort of project from them putting all these singles together, because I think now that I've gotten hooked on this one, I think I'll come around to more from them. So I'm definitely interested.
Derek, what thoughts did you have?
I really enjoyed. I think that the thing that hooked me in initially was the electronic bit at the start.
Mm-hmm.
That was very nice. I mean, you know me, I'm always a sucker for the electronic parts, but this is very, very catchy. And I think the fact it really lends itself to being under 3 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, like
that was going to be a point I was going to make. Yeah, it was super replayable.
If there was another like 45 seconds in this, I don't know if I would like it as much. But it doesn't overstay its welcome, and everything it does fantastically. So
also, that guitar solo is really good.
Yeah.
That was the other point I'm going to make. It seems like guitar solos are kind of just a thing for me this year. A lot of my favorite songs this year happen to have really good guitar solos in them.
Jake, that means you like the summoning, right?
No!
Come
I'm
on!
not the coldest sleep token.
The bad take stick has passed back to Jake.
Yeah. Full circle.
I'm gonna draw my map and it leads straight to the summoning.
I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna start calling him Bad Take Jake. I think that's the line.
I deserve it.
Oh wait, we could do Bad Take Jake and Bad Take Jacob.
Oh,
Bad Take of Jacob.
Jake, don't worry, I'm with you on this next song.
Before we transition, I do want to mention fucking this band is doing really well. I know I said a lot of good stuff about their last single, Day by Day. But man, it's really fucking good. Because I originally just was not too much into them after their 2021 EP dropped. But I'm coming around. Like, fuck me, I'm super excited for whatever they've got.
Seems like that's a general consensus between all of us. That drop something, please.
Drop release date, cowards.
Yes, that's the phrase. Shall we move on?
Yep,
we should.
Let's talk about Grandson, who has dropped his final single before upcoming album, dropping this Friday, May 5th, as we are recording it. Final single, Something to Hide.
I figured, hey, maybe just ignore it, it'll go away. Keep it in the family for today. Everybody knows everybody.
This might
song
be my favorite Grandson song.
Love to hear it.
I'm right there with you.
This song clocks in at just 1 minute and 59 seconds. Hella short, hella replayable. And it has kind of low-key rock influences to it. I guess the main drop too, kind of. But in general, this new album cycle feels like it's leaning a lot more into kind of an alt hip-hop kind of sound. And I feel like this song blends the two styles really well. I don't know if you guys heard any of that kind of influence. But...
Maybe, I feel like I just like it because he's not being political.
This song is very like personal. In the lyrics, it's like I don't have it pulled up, but it's like my sister has an eating disorder, or like my mother was getting drunk on a Friday or something like that. It's very like in your face. Like the lyrics are there is no true deeper meaning to it in a sense. And it's just very simple that like everyone does have something to hide. Everyone has their secrets that you don't know about, type of thing. And I think just the vocal delivery, it's super catchy, super replayable. I'm not as excited for this album as I was Death of an Optimist. This album kind of just creeped up on me, and I never really had a chance to build anticipation for it in the way that I did with the debut album. But I'm still very excited to hear it, and these singles have been promising for sure.
Speaking of songs that are 1 minute 59, Garden has released his new single, Centipede.
See this cycle is constantly running behind every program you have. And in order to escape control of the lead, you got your own friends listed off.
Damn,
I doubt we are
alright.
ever hitting that transition
Dude,
ever again.
That was a 1 in bajillion transition.
I didn't notice till Jake brought it up. Dude, that is wild.
We are never hitting that transition ever again.
Absolutely not.
No. This and the Grandson song have 2 things in common. The vocals are repitched. Wait, no, they have 3 things in common. The runtime, the vocals being repitched, and both of them being amazing. I love this
This
personally.
is like a Pink Lemonade kind of.
Yeah, it's one of the more experimental, I'll say, type of tracks that Garden's done, and I believe it is about. I don't know if it was a producer or like
Somebody
a
stole
promoter
from
or
him, right?
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
him
ripped
and his
him off.
friends. Yeah, I think they stole like $10,000-$20,000 from him or something like that. And as far as I can tell, this song is about like, you know, how could you be like such a fucking low life centipede insect type of thing to do that, and like just a bad person, right? Like for ripping off people and artists just trying to make it, you know. But Garden can do no wrong. I have no complaints about this. I love his, I'll say, normal sound. I love when he experiments. I think that he is honestly, at this point, I mean, obviously, like, artists can always improve type of thing, but I think that discography wise, I think he's a perfect artist. Like, I'm so fully sold on everything Garden, which is nothing new, you know, but I feel like he's just incapable of missing.
I think this is a little too experimental for me, and it just doesn't hit for me, unfortunately.
Well, I think he said that there's a ton more music in the works.
He did.
So, yeah.
As
So
per
there
usual,
there
feels
will be
like.
something. Yeah, right. Every couple of months we have like at least one song to talk about, if not 2. The Devil Wears Prada are back with their next single off of Color Decay Deluxe, which is dropping this Friday, called Ignorance. Jake, I seem to remember you said that you liked this.
Yup, this one has not left the playlist.
Wow,
Let's go.
that's interesting because I think this is by far the weakest song on Color Decay.
Maybe that explains. No, that actually checks out. That actually hella checks out. 'Cause I don't
Except
like
for me
most of
too,
Color
because I
Decay.
think this is the best Devil Wears Prada song.
This is not better than Salt. That's a bad take.
Okay, a lot of things have just been said. I'm allowing you to retract these statements.
I am not retracting anything that I said. I think
This is
fucking
top
dope.
3 Prada song.
That is ignorance. No.
I am
That is
going
reaching?
to then. Damn. I'm going to give Jacob the chance to retract his statement. I don't
Nice.
think this is the weakest song.
You know what? I could see it being better than
What are we
reaching.
retracting?
I could see it being better than reaching. I'd have to think about it for a bit, but
I think it does feel. I use this word loosely. It feels the most mainstream, and I think it might really just be because Mike's vocals are so distinct and unique that when they're not necessarily quite as present, or when that vibe isn't there, it doesn't feel as uniquely Prada. I love the way that they used his vocals to layer against the cleans, especially in the chorus.
Yes.
I love the pacing of the
Yes.
song, the tempo, all of it. This is very much a windows down song, I feel like. And I really enjoy the fact that it leans more, I think, into electronic than a lot of the songs did on Color Decay. Granted, that wasn't necessarily always the vibe on Color Decay, but I'm very much enjoying these. Reaching has grown on me a lot, and I think that even if the songs didn't necessarily fit on Color Decay as it was, there's another regular single besides the remixes coming out, right? Or
I'm
am
not
I
sure.
wrong on that? I don't know.
I'm not,
But
I'm not sure.
I think it'd be very interesting to listen to the album and then listen to all the like original songs after that and see how they fit into it. Like, obviously it's not going to be as good as if you're ending it with Cancer, because Cancer was an incredible closer, but what role do they play, if any, in the story is what I want.
I think
Yeah, go ahead.
as like an outside point of view, because I didn't get into as much of the album as you guys did. I think with Cancer being the last track, I think this is more like with Reaching and Ignorance. I think is more like a public standpoint on like not just like cancer, but like medical, like medical ailments and whatnot as a whole.
I feel like this song is almost a song that they wrote for themselves. I mean, you get the lyrics in the second verse where it's like, if I told myself that I'd be here when I was 22, I'd swear it wasn't true.
Right.
Mm.
You know?
I'm
Which
also
I
getting
guess-
that, yeah.
You're getting what?
I was agreeing, Jake.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think that might almost be a direct contrast to the way that you reminisce about that age in 25.
I was thinking, it's like, why do we add like two different ages in there?
Yeah. Well, you know what it could be? I mean, granted, I haven't paid too much attention to Reaching and Ignorance in terms of lyrics because I haven't had much of a chance to listen to them. But I'm wondering if between the kind of more vibrant colors on the deluxe edition, if Reaching and Ignorance are meant to be a more positive contrast. Like if it's like a slope, right, or a downward trend, and Cancer is the bottom of the trend, then these original songs are kind of trending back upwards. That you get to your lowest and it gets better.
Yeah, that checks out to me.
I want to highlight the 2 guitar solos.
Need I remind you that guitar solos have been a very defining factor of a good song for me this year.
And I really like the electronic outro. It's like a nice little bow tie on the end. I'll admit it. This is better than Reach.
Okay, there we go. See, that wasn't hard. It's all good. We've made
That
it.
was surprisingly easy. Jesus.
I just completely forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, can I?
You're so proud of me.
I am. I'm so proud. I'm speechless. Am I allowed to make this deluxe album my album of the year? Can I do that?
No.
Damn.
If I wasn't allowed to make Finding God Before God Finds Me, no, actually no.
Can you imagine
days.
Bad Omens
Better
releases
days.
a deluxe too?
Wait, that would be kind of. Actually, wait, aren't they?
There was an unlisted track in the isolated vocals.
Oh yeah, it's
YouTube
all coming
playlist.
together.
So
I know what my album of the year and album of the year number 2 are gonna be.
God.
Number 1 and 2, Color Decade of Deluxe, The Death of Peace of Mind Deluxe.
Yep. It's just a competition for third at this point. Landon Tours has dropped a new single featuring Wayne Wood and JV Dade called Cinnamon Skies.
Dropping the heat to lift the mountain, sip the wine, 'cause heaven's drowning. Speak the truth, the lies will bound you, free your mind.
What an immaculate vibe this is. I love this. I think, hold on, before I make a very bold claim, let me go check something really quick. Yeah, I would say that this is my favorite Landon Tours song.
Whoa.
Like solo.
Yeah.
Well, no. Second behind F Pacing. But this is a very solid and definitive number 2. He fits perfectly on it. The way that the rap in this sounds, rap is loose, but it sounds very nonchalant over this like airy, vibey instrumental along with Landon Tours' airy voice. It's so good. It's just, this is another one where it puts me in the meadow. This and The Void occupy the same space in my head. Like
the meadow in the void of Cinnamon Skies.
That is a sentence.
And I don't know. I think I was just eating really good this month, but everything has just been so good, and this really continues that trend. I love that Landon Tours just does whatever the fuck he wants with his solo music, because I feel like the last couple of singles have just had like nothing at all to do with each other, and he's so talented and creative, and this is, I feel like, a new territory for him almost.
Yeah,
there was that one song last year, but yeah, what can't he do at this point? Nothing. The answer's nothing. He's doing everything, including feature of the year, but more on that in December.
Wow. Damn. Derek really likes that arc. So.
Maybe.
Let's move on. We got another new band for the podcast up next. Plush have released their new song, Left Behind. This is the first single since their debut album dropped in 2021, and that album had one good song on it, which was the first song I heard, and then I listened to the entire rest of the album and was left extremely disappointed. However, this new song kind of blew me away. This...
I'm gonna have to say, Jake, you're not with me on this one.
I feel like this is very clearly stadium radio rock type of stuff. Like, it's all just like female clean vocals, like kind of like Hailstorm almost.
That was the first band that came to mind.
Like, I just imagine this like opening for arenas, and I don't know, this song just fits that vibe for me. You get the hand claps in the first verse, you get a massive sounding chorus, you get an instrumental riff guitar solo thing at the bridge of the song. This is just the classic radio rock formula done really well, in my opinion.
You know, I feel like I get a very distinct, like, 80s hair metal vibe to this. Something about, like, I can tell, at least whoever's writing this really grew up on bands like Skid Row and Motley Crue. I can feel it. And I love that. I think that is absolutely missing from a lot of like rock music today. There was this band called Santa Cruz that was doing it really well. But besides them, this has probably been the absolute best example of it that I've heard recently. Yeah, wow. I mean, the riff, fantastic. It is a little generic for this genre, but I think honestly, including like Hailstorm and pretty much any other band doing this in this kind of area of the genre, this is probably the best that I've heard.
Don't go back and listen to their debut album. It's not very good.
Oh.
You will be very disappointed, I feel like. I mean, you might find one or two songs to like off it, but this new song is a lot heavier than that album.
I might go listen.
And a lot of the instrumentals fell really flat to me.
Dude, are you fucking kidding me? Look at this album cover for the 2021, bro. It's like straight out of 2009. I need to listen to this.
All right, you know what? Fair enough.
Yeah, this is getting put on. It's getting put on. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Fuck yeah, Plush. They're killing it.
Also, all female band.
Dude, why are like all female rock bands fucking killing it? Well, all female rock bands and also all female rock bands. Because like Conquer Divide, Plush. Who am I missing? Are there any others?
There's definitely others. I can't
there's Hoity Toity. They're really good. Damn, I love music.
Real.
Derek just had a realization.
After all these years, I finally come to understand that I love music.
Wow.
Speaking of music I love, Justin, how about you take it away with this next one?
We got Sunsleep dropping their next single featuring Roy Rodriguez. It's titled Stolen Crown.
Every step you take, every word you say, makes us who we are, so reach further.
All bands who I have ever told when they got a Roy Rodriguez feature to use Rory Rodriguez, take notes.
Yep.
This is the best utilization of Rory, and also my song of the month, maybe even song of the year right now. It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
It's really difficult for a song when it plays for the lyrics to kind of click with me instantly, and also kind of get me thinking. For those that don't know, I do D&D and a bunch of other stuff, and kind of get me thinking, like imagining like different scenarios and like involving lyrics and stuff like this. And this fucking, I ascended when this song dropped. Like, this so good. It's got
Justin is no longer behind the paywall.
Thank God. Hell yeah. I don't care anymore.
He jumped the border.
Shawshank Redemption arc.
Absolutely. Fucking Devin Barris' vocals, absolutely incredible in this. Not only did was it Hello Goodbye was the last single? I don't even remember.
It was.
No other music existed after this. I'm sorry. But fucking his really, really good, clean, almost like falsetto sound from the second chorus. When that hit, that was an instant ad. And then we get Rory's verse, probably one of Rory's best vocals for a while. And then a fucking breakdown. Like,
I didn't expect that at all, man. I was like, what? Like, that's not. That didn't feel like the vibe. That doesn't feel like Sunsleep's vibe. Why did it work so well?
It worked incredibly well. Usually, in a lot of features, you usually get the features like a backing. I think I may have mentioned something like this in the Archetypes Collide feature. But no, these two were playing on the same fucking playing field, going at it. It was fucking phenomenal. When that breakdown hit, Rory's unclean vocals coming in, and then Devin Barris's cleans, just matching the tone, keeping up the pace. This song is going to be played live. I wish they were doing an East Coast tour. Because fuck me, this would be an amazing song live.
If Dayseeker doesn't bring Sunsleep on their next headliner tour, that's a missed opportunity.
Criminal. This was so fucking good.
As it stands, this is my favorite Sunsleep song. I haven't spent a ton of time with it. I also haven't spent a ton of time with Sunsleep in general, to be honest.
I mean, this only dropped like Friday.
Yeah. This is really solid. I don't have anything else to add because you guys have kind of said everything that could be said about it, in my opinion. But yeah, this is great. Highly recommend checking this out.
I agree. Wait, are we all in agreement here?
I think
Now it
we
finally
did it.
happened.
It took
did it, guys.
23 songs.
Years.
No, songs, not years.
I want to mention some lyrics before we roll off of this. We got the bridge with "Rise again, your kingdom has fallen, taking back a stolen crown. Can hear the voices are calling. Are you going to answer to the sound?" And then going into the breakdown with that, ooh, fucking phenomenal. I don't care if I'm spoiling this right now. This is somewhere in my top 10 at the end of the year.
Has to be.
We got another band for the podcast. Another frequent flyer. We got Nature's Ghost with their song "Who You Are."
Can you let go of what you ain't lost? A way to take a drop that and turn it to a ghost. The world is gonna spin with or without you.
This is a super solid Nature's Ghost song.
Are we sure it's
My
not
opinion-
Nurture's Ghost?
It's Nature's Ghost.
No vultures.
In my opinion, this is their weakest song.
What?
I don't love this.
I'm indifferent on this song.
It feels a little wordy at times. I don't love the vocal delivery. The mixing and production doesn't feel as crisp, even though I went back to their other songs and it doesn't sound that different, but it sounds better on their others. I don't know. This one's just not clicking for me.
I think it's kind of leading out of that like that poppy style more into like a punk style, kind of like similar to Keeper. I think those two have like very similar styles.
I loved Keeper though. So like, if you're making that comparison, I should love this too, and I'm
I'm not saying it's like comparison. I'm just saying it's like kind of similar styles, but that's really it. I didn't like the chorus on the first listen of this. I thought his vocal delivery on it was kind of stunted a little bit, and it's still not hitting with me. I'm kind of, Yeah, I would say like maybe behind Keeper and Upside Down. I'd say this is like they've released 5 singles. I think this is like in the middle, if not on the lower end for what they've put out. But it's no way in how bad. Nature's Ghost or above and beyond some duos. Like it's them and Floya that are doing really good duo work in the scene right now, and it's criminal that they only have 4,000 monthly listeners.
I will admit that number is criminal, even though I don't love this song.
David, did you get to this?
I did. I think, this is my second favorite Nature's Ghost song. I think Cry Wolf is still
Cry Wolf is in a league of its own. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see you liking this.
I agree with Jake a little bit on the mixing, but at the same time, I think that this band is so good that it doesn't matter to me, which is weird because I feel like I'm usually one of the more particular ones about it, but something about it, I feel like it fits their sound. So I am with it. Now, if they improved it, I'm not going to complain, but no, I really like this. Another small band that deserves to be bigger. Like you said, 4,000 monthly listeners. What the fuck is that? Like, come on now.
Not much else to go off of this.
Speaking of duos.
Yeah.
Honey Revenge have dropped another single for their upcoming debut album. A new song is called Worst Apology.
World's worst apology. You said you changed, but couldn't.
That's Jake when he's apologizing for his taste. Worst apology.
Both
Worst
in music
apology.
and in food.
I didn't bring up food.
Actually, you know
I
what,
like to make fun of myself.
Yeah, man, look, I'm going to be honest. I can't even make fun of your choice in food because, like, if you had to pick a food to like, I feel like chicken nuggets are such a good fucking choice. Like, let me be so for real. Like,
Thank you.
literally,
Thank you.
I will eat pretty much anything. Chicken nuggets are still a top 5 food of all time. I don't care.
You
If
ever,
they're-
wonder, wonder how you get to a certain part of the discussion and then you kind of black out for a second? I was like, how the fuck did we get here?
Really quickly, and you know what? Really quickly, because I really like the song. Do Dino Nuggets taste better than regular nuggets?
Oh
Yes
my
or no?
god.
Yes or no? I have to know. I have to know.
No.
No?
Oh.
Oh.
But you can make cool noises when playing with them.
Yes, exactly. You can dip it into the ketchup and then pick it up and go.
All right, so that's where we differ. I don't do it with sauce.
Oh,
He doesn't have the special nugget
I
sauce.
don't.
man.
I'm a fraud.
This feels so weird. But you know what? You like them so much. I feel like I'm wrong. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's dog or Dino Nuggets.
Both.
This is
I
the
feel like-
greatest tangent we've ever gone
I
on.
hate it.
Dude, you know what? It's like I feel like you like them so much that my opinion is suddenly worth less. You know, like I'm like, damn, are Dino Nuggets the same? Are they weren't? Do I need sauce? Like, what's going on?
I'm used to having like all the wrong opinions about like only ever eating chicken tenders. This is a weird spot for me to be in that like I actually have to defend myself.
Yeah,
What the-
I don't know, man.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Honey Revenge.
have dropped their best song.
That I'm not agreeing with that, but goddamn, if this band isn't going to be dropping one of the most fun albums of this year, like already, like between this song, Airhead, Are You Impressed, and everything they dropped last year, like this is already like the most fun album I've heard all year. We'll get on that later, but this is the most fun album I've heard all year, and it's not even out yet.
Not to like discredit them because I don't want this to be the intent, but like they got to be some sort of fucking industry plant, man. Like because I remember they corrected us in DMs, right? Because I thought they were a band before, and like, no, this is just like a new band. It should not. You should not be able to be this good out of the gate. And like they are getting this popular off of debut singles, like they're on tours with like Broadside and stuff. Like, remember when we first reviewed them and they had like less than 1,000 monthly listeners? They're 250,000. And like Distracted and Rerun both have multi-million streams. Airhead's on its way to 1 million. I mean, just I am floored by how this might be top 5 greatest debut album ever off like quality alone. I'm willing to put that out there. And I think that this sounds a little bit, the guitar in this sounds a little bit like Fallback by Nightlife to me. It's got that same sort of like groove and punch to it.
You know what? I kind of see
I love it.
I kind of see it.
I think this is in contention for my current top 10 songs of the year. It was there, and then I took it out. It's number 13 right now. So like we're close. But yeah, this
you said this is your favorite Honey Revenge song. Never mind.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think this is a 10, like out of 10.
I don't know. If the lyrics feel a little bit. I don't know. I feel like the lyrics turn me off of this song. Like I like the instrument, but some of the lyrics are a little cringy in my opinion.
It's fun. Jacob doesn't like fun. Confirmed.
Jacob hates fun.
I hate fun.
Jake.
From one pop rock band to another, Concrete Castles have dropped their 4th single this year, So Addicted.
You're at my fingertips, waiting for a hit. It's like I got you at the flick of a switch. You think that you can...
Is this pop rock? It doesn't sound like it.
I mean, that's traditionally what Concrete Castles are. This
Yeah,
is definitely a diversion from that sound, though. Oh my god, the bass in this song.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is the fattest bass I have heard all year.
it's so yeah. This
And then you get
is
the guitar solo in the bridge with that bass. It's just like, this is one of those. It's like, I just imagine like being like outside in the dark and you dim the lights to like 5% brightness, and that's kind of the vibe that I get listening to this song. It's like dark and dreamy. I don't know. I love this though. I fucking love this. Concrete Castle are on their way to one of my favorite albums of this year. These four singles this year already clear Wish I Missed You out of the water.
Ooh, wow. I don't agree with that at all.
I
yeah.
think so. I think I don't think there's a song that beats like Wish I Missed You, but overall I think these singles are better than that last album.
I will say I think this album is going to feel a little bit more cohesive than the last one, if nothing else.
Yeah. This song to me, it almost reminded me of like a Bad Decisions or Someone Else off of the Death of Peace of Mind. That's kind of the vibe that now it just in the way that hypothetically speaking here, when this album drops, I feel like this is one of those songs that's gonna really, you're gonna feel the pacing of the album with this song, where it's gonna be that like diversion of sound. Where like when you get to a Bad Decisions, it feels very different, helps the story flow. That's kind of what I feel like this song is gonna be when that album drops. It's gonna like, it's really gonna feel like it fits in the album, even though sonically it's gonna sound very different. If that makes any sense.
Nope, that does make sense. You lost me, but then
I course corrected my argument. Hell yeah.
Yeah, you did. You found me without a map, Jake. I'm impressed.
It took me an hour and 40 minutes.
Right. I think Concrete Castles really lost me from You Won't See Me Again all the way through Running from the Daylight. But ever since then, they've been like, oh, so it almost feels, these last couple songs almost felt like an apology. Like, oh, sorry we lost you. Here's some really, really good stuff to bring you back in. It's like, oh, thanks. Like, absolutely. No, this is incredible. I love Concrete Castles.
Same.
They pulled through this month.
Yep.
How about this next band? Do you love this next band?
I love this band. Let's see if I like the songs. Jacob?
Movements have released 2 singles titled Killing Time and Lead Pipe.
I think I like the way it hurts. It must be by design. No one can love me like you do.
So the question is, Derek, do you like these songs?
No.
No.
Because you know what's crazy?
You do?
Yeah.
It's you know what? It's because Derek doesn't like fun. I can do it back to you. I can do it back to you. Derek doesn't like fun. He only likes depressing movements.
Man, look. this band has suddenly shifted into the same headspace as Boston Manor with these two songs. I feel like if this is the direction that it's going to be for the future. Now, take my opinion with a grain of salt, if you don't usually, because I didn't like Cherry Thrill at all when it dropped.
I
And
think
now I
Cherry
really
Thrill
enjoy
is
it.
better than these two songs. But maybe these are growers, because I've only listened to them like 3 times each.
Mm.
And each time gets better.
The more I listen to Killing Time, the more it grows on me. I think Cherry Thrill and Killing Time are my top 2 movement songs, as it stands. I still have not listened to that debut album or anything earlier, but
Oh.
I think Cherry Thrill and Killing Time are better than anything off of whatever that.
Oh, don't even call it whatever that. Don't you?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to disrespect. That album just left very little impact on me.
You mean no good left to give?
Yeah, that's the one.
You left no good left to give. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
That is terrible.
Don't let it happen.
You guys handed me a map instead of a dictionary.
Ah, dude, you know what? I think that might be part of it for me. Is just that.
No
I
good left
think
to
that-
give means so much to you that like
Well, I
everything else
mean-
just pales in comparison, kind
Well,
of. or-
it's all of Movement's discography, really. Prior to like this and Cherry Thrill, like this band, outside of maybe Valley Heart, I feel like they occupied their own special little corner. in the scene.
You know what? I kind of agree with that. These songs do feel less special, but they're also good at the same time. They still feel like movements.
Yeah, well, here's my thing: is to me, this wouldn't if you replaced the vocalist, for instance, and just gave me the instrumentals. This wouldn't feel like movements at all. Whereas I feel like I could do that with their previous albums. Like it had a certain vibe to it. Whereas this, it does. I mean, it is less sad overall. Like it's definitely more. I don't know if positive is the right word, but maybe neutral and accessible. And honestly, I think that Movements decided they wanted to do something maybe a little bit more creative, and that they also wanted to reach a wider audience because you can only get so far making sad music for sad people. You know, like
They're at
And-
900K.
yeah. And I mean, where is whatever it's called on that?
That feels like
sure-
a lot.
Yeah, well, I didn't think they were like that at all, but I mean, Lead Pipe is already at like 250,000 compared to Killing Time, and Killing Time is the first song on the EP, so it's not like people are seeking that out 100,000 more times. Maybe it's getting radio play. I don't know. I definitely feel like I could hear these on my local alternative station in a way that I couldn't with any of their previous material, and they've always been kind of somewhere between rock and emo, and I think that they're definitely leaning more into that rock side for a lot of their new material. And I think that these have like potential. So if this is the way that they're going to be going, I'm for it. But you know,
I think the bass distinctly screams movements in both
Yeah, these
songs.
very much sounds like movement songs. Like when I heard them, I'm like, oh yeah, that's movements.
see, I don't get that at all. Like if I get it because we had Cherry Thrill, but if you had given me like these two songs with just the context of everything else, I probably couldn't have did it. Maybe that's just a personal issue. I don't know, but I don't hate them. I just think that they're a little more generic-ish from a band that I feel like wasn't at all for any part of their discography prior to this.
I can kind of agree.
What I will say is that I feel like these do have a very futuristic, might not be the right word, but that sort of sound to them. And I think that if these are attached to something, we may be getting another one of those cornerstone albums for the decade that people base their sound off of. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Before we move on, I just want to touch on the vocal delivery in the chorus of Killing Time, because that's really what's got me hooked. The delivery on it must be by design. No one can love me like you do. I love it.
You do.
Yep, that. Lead Pipe is also really solid. Not as memorable as Killing Time for me, but yeah. This is the highest I've ever been on movements between Cherry Thrill and these two songs.
That concludes the singles.
It certainly does. We got 2 EPs and 5 albums to talk about. let's not waste any more time. Savage Hands have dropped their EP, Rock Bottom. I don't think we talked about any of the singles. I think the last time we talked about them was probably when we talked about Love No More, way back a long time ago. 5-song EP, and not my absolute favorite EP of this year, but I think this is really good. I really enjoyed this.
It's okay.
Derek?
I actually didn't listen to this.
I think I'm with Justin on this one. Jake, I think this is let me say this. I think this is the best butt rock EP I've ever heard.
Whoa, okay. So full disclosure, I have heard 1 or 2 albums out of the ones we're going to listen to and one of the 2 EPs. And I was very interested in all of the others. I just didn't get to them. So I was very much waiting for your verdicts on it. And I don't think I could have prepared myself for calling Savage Hands butt rock. I need to know what went wrong.
Well, I don't really have
think
any history with this band.
I don't really think anything went wrong. I think that's just another Hivemind bad take for the night.
No.
Oh, one of many. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Oh.
Justin, do you think it's butt rock?
No. I don't know where
Okay.
you're getting that, but I'll
Okay,
let you
I
stay in
think
your own little headspace for that for a little bit.
Angel, it's the angel dust, dude.
Okay. You can keep sniffing the angel dust. We'll talk about this in a moment. I think their sound has devolved from their previous sound. I actually went back and listened to, I think it was the album Barely Alive. Not 10, 7 tracks. I guess it's an album. Because Red from that album showed up in one of my playlists. I listened to it. It's really good for 2018 era Savage Hands. And when I went back to this to kind of give it a second chance, that sound wasn't there. I think it's more de-evolved into more radio style, I guess considered butt rock in that way. And I think it's been too digestible to the point where it's muddied and a bunch of other stuff that's better than it. So it doesn't really have its own identity.
That's kind of weird to me because I feel like they have a really distinct sound.
Really?
I mean, it's not super distinct, but I feel like vocally he sounds pretty unique, especially for an American band.
It sounds
I can't
like
really name a ton of bands that sound really like.
I feel like
this.
there's a bunch of like early 2000s bands that sound like him.
I
can't
I'm
name
just not
any-
experienced enough with early 2000s music.
Maybe I
man.
haven't
but-
heard. Maybe I haven't heard enough of him, but
There's a lot of vocal deliveries, like in the chorus of Angel Dust and throughout Rock Bottom, the title track of this EP, where it's kind of just. I don't want to say it's like sing screamy because it's like kind of sing screamy, but if you're not screaming, where it's just like kind of monotone delivery, but it kind of works. It's like kind of funky. There's a lot of really cool bass work on this album that I really liked. You get some really creative riffs, I feel like, especially on Rock Bottom. The breakdown, riff down, whatever you want to call it on that song, I think is really cool. Angel Dust, I think you get a really sick moment after the second verse as well, where it gets a bit heavier. Angel Dust does also kind of remind me of Bring Me the Horizon in general as a song. I don't know exactly what song. I think, I don't know, maybe like Obey or Teardrops or something like that. But then my favorite song on this EP is Halo, is track number 4 on here. It's just extremely anthemic, such an easy song to sing along to. The chorus of I'm not so spiritual, might need a miracle. I think I'm caught in the shadow. I think it's terminal. They never hear you when there's scars on your halo. But particularly that first part of I'm not so spiritual, might need a miracle. I love the delivery on that. And then you also get Smile as the closer on this EP, which isn't my favorite on here. But I do want to make note that the song features Maria of Future Palace. It's not listed on the song, but the second verse features Maria of Future Palace. And Once I learned that, it definitely gave me a new appreciation for this song. Just the closer of this track being like, I just want to smile, kind of doesn't do much for me. I mean, that's not the exact delivery of what they say. But it feels like a little bit of an underwhelming emotional note to end on for me. But otherwise, instrumentally, vocally, I really enjoyed what I heard here.
No, I would probably also agree. I think Hail is probably the best out of this. But then everything else just kind of blends, unfortunately.
I spent a lot of time with Rock Bottom when it came out, but I wanted to save it for when we discussed this EP as a whole. I think that song is groovy as fuck. And Angel Dust is solid. Halo's fun. Smile I've gained a new appreciation for. Black Clouds is also fine, but probably the least memorable song on here for me. I believe that takes us to our next EP, one that I think we all have a bit more to say, if I had to take a guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking this transition because I'm going to fuck it up. Someone else do it.
Well, if you know, you know, Jake. If you know, you know.
I know.
That's probably going to be as good as we ever get for anything that we do.
Are you telling me it's not pronounced IYKYK?
It's If You Know, You Know by Picturesque.
Wow, a little more enthusiasm there, Justin.
Yeah, we need some more hype for this.
Try again.
No, I think I'm general about how I feel about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Picturesque have dropped their newest EP. If you know, you know. Is that more what you were thinking?
That is perfect.
All right,
Cut out
awesome.
Justin's part, Jake.
No, leave him in. Let him face his shit.
I think that delivery from Derek is rather fitting for potential EP of the year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what I was saying. Justin's got to
comment.
be more. Are you kidding
Dead
me?
Lakes
Hold
again.
on.
It's fucking Dead Lakes again.
Wait. Is that a no comment like you want to be secretive, or a no comment like you're disagreeing? Answer
That's a no
honestly.
comment, Derek. I can't say anything.
Oh.
Justin's got strange habits,
He's got strange habits, man.
I don't want to be crucified on the
and
podcast.
he's hopeless.
If this doesn't end up on your list, I'm gonna break it all.
I just told you how I feel about it. I don't want to be crucified.
Oh man. Oh.
Okay, I think there are maybe one or two misses on this album or EP actually.
That's how I'm feeling.
No. Wrong.
I would say there's maybe one.
Jake,
And that's maybe.
what is your maybe miss? I want to see if it's the same
Borrowing
as mine.
problems.
Oh.
Yeah,
Stop.
borrowing problems and maybe Waterson West.
Oh,
Nah,
no.
Waterson West is great. That song has
Oh.
grown on me a lot since first listen. Borrowing problems, I don't know. That song just fell a little flat. I mean, it's still picturesque. It's still great, but definitely the one I've spent the least time with on this EP. The other 5 songs on here are fantastic, though. Hopeless is like borderline top 10 song of the year. Strange Habits is fantastic. Dance with the Devil riffs down like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Waterson West is a slow emotional vibe that I love. Break It All is a song.
Oh, I've been spending the most time with Break It All.
That's my least favorite one, I think.
Really?
If I had to pick one, yeah.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say it, guys. I'm gonna say it. I think that even if you throw bands like Stand Atlantic and that sphere of things into the term rock, I think that Picturesque have cemented themselves as a top 5 rock band of probably the decade to come with just this EP. That is my bold claim take, and I will die on that hill.
Indeed.
Top 5 post-hardcore.
I don't even think there's this post-hardcore anymore.
Really?
I think that
I get really big, like, Too Close to Touch vibes.
Huh. See, okay, so I would say I agree with you on like some of the stuff off their newer EPs, but that to me is also rock. I feel like Too Close to Touch from like their last couple of EPs were very much out of the post-hardcore scene. I don't know. Post-hardcore is always a fucked genre to be
is.
and like what is or isn't post-hardcore, you know?
I only know what post-hardcore is when a band defines himself as post-hardcore.
If I listen to a song and I'm like, Justin would like this, then it's post-hardcore.
Yeah, that's probably the most accurate definition that we can come up with.
I think it's probably the closest I can get.
You take Jake's dictionary, you look up post-hardcore, it's just a picture of my face.
Yeah, you're just smiling, thumbs up. Like,
But for some reason, Dead Lakes isn't there. Oh, in Justin's
real
dictionary,
post-hardcore.
anyway.
They're just not real post-hardcore, I guess.
Anyways, Picturesque.
Look, to me, this has a bit of it's somewhere between edge, groove, and like this is, I use this term very loosely, but like sex appeal. There is a different air to this band than they had when they dropped I think it was Back to Beautiful, and then oh, I better not fuck it up. Do You Feel Okay? That's right?
Yep.
It's Do You Feel Okay? Okay. That they feel a lot more confident, I guess, in the same way that Movements has kind of moved away from that kind of sadder sound. Like I feel like Movements has moved. Who could have seen it? Who could have seen it coming? I don't know. You know what this is? This to me lives in the same space as my mind as how I felt about some of those songs off that Varsity album last year, where they just had like swagger and confidence to them.
Oh, that is a better comparison than Too Close to Touch, actually.
This to me has that same sort of vibe to it. The Picturesque are saying, all right, fuck it. We did our time with post-hardcore. We are ready to like break out. And not only like in terms of going mainstream, but also of like a musical shell to kind of expand their sound and their vibe. And I think what was that song last year? Or Attention. It wasn't last year, but that last album. That Attention kind of, Hopeless is what Attention was trying to achieve. And I feel like Attention almost got there and Hopeless nailed it. And I think that they show a lot of range here. Borrowing Problems is my favorite song off this by far, which feels like a unpopular take, but there's a lot of range here on a 6-song EP that somehow manages to like all come together. It doesn't necessarily feel very cohesive. I was kind of hoping there'd be transitions between the songs for some reason. I don't know. I think I've been so let down by EPs this year that I wanted one to really blow me away. And this still managed to do it without the expectations that I had, you know? I don't know. I'm very curious to see where this ends up on all of our lists besides Justin's, because we know where it's going to end up.
Hello.
But like also why? Because I feel like we all like different songs as our favorites on here, right? So we all might like it for different reasons.
Yeah.
Picturesque continues to be one of the most modern sounding bands in the genre.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't even know, like, I can't pick apart why it sounds modern. It just does, you know?
I love how chunky Dance with the Devil is.
Oh, yeah.
I have a question for you guys, because maybe I think I missed it. But
Sure.
Why is the title If You Know, You Know? Maybe I just don't know.
Well, you don't know. That's what I'm saying. If you know, you know. If you don't,
you
have to ask that question.
Shit.
You fucked up.
I just embarrassed myself.
Yep.
Is it actually mentioned as like a lyric or anything?
Shit,
I
I
don't think
have no
so.
clue.
I don't think I didn't notice it. That's why. Yeah. That's what I'm wondering.
No,
Maybe I just
idea.
don't know. That's what it is. I just don't know. A good title for this episode.
I just don't know.
for the EP single episode like that.
True. I feel like we've talked very generally about this EP. But I also don't know if I have too much more to add, to be honest.
I don't know.
It's just one of those things where it's like hard to pick about any individual moment, because it feels like it all just comes together so well that you almost have to listen to all 6 tracks to really understand it.
I think I like how wordy the choruses are and how well they flow, even despite them being so wordy.
Especially Hopeless.
I think Hopeless, Strange Habits, and Break It All do that.
I'm honestly just happy this band is still putting out good music.
Yeah.
Because I've been a Picturesque fan for I think 5 years now, a little over 5 years. And I don't know if I would have expected them to even maybe still be together, let alone putting out something that, like you said, feels so modern. And their sound evolution has been phenomenal. I have absolutely zero complaints about this. I hope they blow up because they are an amazing band to see live. I got to see them live with Slaves in October 2018, literally studio.
Man.
I could not tell the difference. And
I feel like they don't tour. I've never seen them on a tour.
They went on tour with Hands Like Houses and somebody else, American Teeth, maybe, I think, a couple years ago. And they've been on a couple festivals.
Not recently, though.
Yeah, they went on a tour with Alisana last year. I know that. But, yeah, no, I don't think that, maybe I missed it, but I don't think they've ever had a headliner.
Derek, you want to go to New Jersey? Because they're doing a show with Woe Is Me.
Oh.
New Jersey.
Maybe I do want to go to New Jersey. Maybe, I've never wanted to go to New Jersey, but now I might have.
You might have been convinced.
I might have been convinced to tread water in Jersey. Jersey. Anyway.
Any last comments on this EP before we move on?
So good. Feels good to finally have an EP that's good. Something I can really attach it to, because beforehand Ice Spice was my number one EP of the year. And don't get me wrong, I love that EP, but I would really like to be able to talk about something at the end of the year as my number one other than Ice Spice. Jacob, do you want to take us to our first album?
Our first album is Intellectual Property by Waterparks. Now I've been listening to Waterparks since Entertainment, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And they've always been a band where I like one or two of the songs on the album.
Yep.
And this just continues the trend.
Damn, I was hoping you could sell me on this more.
I literally wanted to add this because I wanted to talk about Fuck About It. Because that song slaps. And it's funny because it was a single, but I missed it. I didn't realize it.
Oh, I didn't realize it was either. I feel like I should have gotten that in my release radar one way or another between Black Bear and Waterparks.
Yeah, this album is very, I'm going to talk about it generally. There's a lot of misses and very few hits. It's just what Waterparks is to me, I think, and I'm glad I can add a few songs to my playlist that I enjoy. So this won't be at the end of the year, but this is definitely something to listen. You should listen to it and pick out your favorites.
I actually listened to this, and Starfucker, End of the Water Feel, and Funeral Grey and Brainwash were kind of my standouts as I was listening to it.
I feel like you just listened to all the singles. Or most of them.
I didn't listen to any of the singles, so
yeah,
listening to it as an album.
I listened to it as an album as well.
Yeah, I feel like it's just too samey for like the same album. They do some good things in Starfucker where like the instrumentals kind of mute for a little bit to kind of give like a little bit of like breathing space before like immediately hitting again. They do that a couple times. I thought it was pretty cool. End of the Water Feel has a nice outward transition. Real Super Dark is like a really good kind of almost like near grungy vocal delivery. But otherwise, nothing else really stuck with me on this.
I gave Funeral Grey and Self Sabotage a listen as the first two singles for this album, just to like test the waters, because I've never really listened to Waterparks before. And I surprisingly enjoyed both of them. More so Self Sabotage than Funeral Grey. I got the pop punk vibes for sure.
Yeah.
And given that I have been getting more into pop punk over the past few years, I'm definitely interested to give this a full listen at some point this year. I don't know if it's going to be something that like makes any end of year list or anything, but I feel like this could be a good jumping on point for me to get on board with what Waterparks are doing.
I would honestly listen to Entertainment instead. Their 2018 album, I feel like that was more pop punk than a lot of their more recent stuff. That or Double Dare.
I really like how they like choose a different color for each of their.
Oh yeah,
they're very vibrant. Like they're like Double Dare's yellow, Entertainment's blue, Fandom's green, Greatest Hits is blue or yellow, I guess.
They're gonna run out of primary colors and
that's true. Well, they've already repeated yellow and blue, so.
Yeah.
I guess they're wearing. Is that orange they're wearing? Maybe it is. I'm colorblind. Don't judge me.
Yeah, they're wearing orange and blue on Greatest Hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's orange and blue.
Okay.
I think that you hit the nail on the head with the 2 songs and album thing. And I'm really tired of spending my time listening to a full album of what I think are mid Waterparks songs just for 2 songs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I didn't listen to this. I listened to Funeral Grey and Fuck About It, and I'm not as high on Fuck About It as you.
It gets the chorus gets stuck in my head.
I think I just don't really like Austin's voice. I think is what it might comes down to. I think he's kind of annoying. I don't know. I understand why Waterparks has the fandom that they do. And especially with, and oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. And like with the vibe that their music gets off, I get why if you like Waterparks, you like Waterparks. I feel the same about like Dance Gavin Dance too. Like I feel like they both exist. That they've got really large and annoying fandoms. And if you like their music, you really like it. And if you don't, you pick maybe one song off an album. Unfortunately, I'm not into Waterparks at all, and so most of this ends up falling flat. So, of my things so far that I didn't listen to, I will be listening to Savage Hands, believe it or not, but I will not be listening to Waterparks. Waterparks does not have the Derek seal of approval, and I haven't even heard it.
Damn.
I'm gonna. That's what it'll be. I'll set up a cage match with like me and the vocalist. And if he beats me, I have to do a discography run. And if I beat him, they have to quit forever. There's a lot at stake here.
I feel like that's a little bit imbalanced punishment.
No, I think it's about equal. I'd say it might be worse for me, actually.
Well, let's move on. We have a string of debut albums coming up. From fall to spring have dropped their debut album, Rise.
Collide, all the planets will ignite, so the galaxy shines bright, and all they see is a super...
On a rising empire, funnily enough. This is very much a new metal rap rock inspired group from Germany. This is the German band I was hinting at earlier. And I was very curious to listen to this because I didn't love the singles that they had dropped for this. I mean, basically this entire album was dropped as singles, but I didn't listen to all of them. But the singles that I did hear were very hit or miss. Songs like Destiny, Barriers, and Draw the Line, banger. Light Up the Sky and Beast Mode, those 2 songs didn't do too much for me. So I wasn't sure what to expect going into this album. But I really enjoyed this. This is satisfying that rap rock itch that I have. And I don't know. I just really enjoyed this from front to back. I think there's a lot of really fun moments on this song. I think Brainfuck is an incredible opener. Draw the Line is super fun. Supernova, you get some EDM influences in there. Barriers feels super nostalgic to me. It's pretty emotional of the song. Destiny is energetic and all over the place. And I don't think the Cursed One is an amazing closer, but it does the job to kind of settle the tone that this album provides. And it's kind of the theme of Rise, the title track and then the end of the album. You definitely get hints of trying to like fight for your self-worth almost, and trying to rise up and like fight the doubters almost. And just overall, this was a really enjoyable listen for me. Did you guys get around to this by chance?
I did
Again.
not, but it is already in my lists and later playlists, so I will be before the end of the year.
I gave it a once through, but didn't really stand out to me. Besides like Supernova.
I had a feeling. I picked out Supernova on first listen. It's like, Justin, you'd like this. I don't think you're gonna like the rest of the album.
Nah.
You know, sometimes I know Justin's music taste pretty well. Yeah, some standout moments for me on this album. The chorus of "Brain Fuck." My brain is fucked up. I'll go insane. No end in sight. You're the one to blame. I'm in the heat of a dying flame. No end in sight. You're the one to blame. Barriers as well. The chorus feels super nostalgic, and the instrumentation matches it really well. Hard to remember all the things that we had done in December. Got a feeling you would never surrender. Has this really been our last goodbye? It's an emotional breakup song, yada yada. It's been done before, but I really enjoyed it. And then Destiny as well, I think is probably where the rapping shines the most. Beast Mode is probably the most rap influenced song on this album, but Destiny is where it stands out to me. I guess I have to confess, music helps me to express all the things I need to get off my chest. But in your eyes, I'm the enemy, heavily spreading the profanity. Pardon me, have you lost your sanity? Total lack of empathy, damage mentally. This is who I am, and this is what I'm fucking meant to be. The delivery on that verse is just fucking incredible. You also get some really cool breakdowns on this album. In Destiny, for example, and Draw the Line as well. Not very traditional breakdowns that like kind of you just get that instrumental breakdown with like a mosh call. They're very, I don't know if this is the best word to describe it, active, where like every single breakdown, it feels like stuff is switching up every few seconds. You get vocal deliveries throughout the entire breakdown in basically every song here. I really enjoyed this. I don't know if this makes my top 10 end of year. I would lean probably towards not. But a very impressive debut album, and it's going to be on that borderline, probably like 15 to 20 range if I had to imagine. If I had to take a guess right now, it's gonna be up there. It's not gonna be at the very top of the list, but it's gonna be up there, and it's gonna be one of the more memorable albums outside of my top 10, if I had to predict right now. That takes us to our next album, another debut album, Postcard from a Living Hell by RedHook. Now, Derek, I saw you listening to this one earlier.
Yes, I did hear this.
What are your thoughts?
When
Is
we
it the same experience as RedHook in the past?
Yes and no.
Okay,
I'm
intrigued.
I think that Bad Decisions, the EP, had one good song, and it was Alien, or one song that really stuck with me. And I liked it because it sounded so much different than all their other stuff. And I think that RedHook with this album have solidified the sound that they're going for and maybe expand upon it a little bit. I don't think that sound is for me. I will say, I think they have a phenomenal feature list on here. I think all the features are good. I really like Postcard XO. Can you guess? I liked one other song in here besides Postcard XO. Can you guess which one it is?
Soju.
No.
Damn.
It was Psych versus Psych. Do you want to take a guess why? Yeah.
Is it the EDM breakdown?
Yeah, I didn't expect that at all. There were a lot of surprisingly electronic influences on this album that I wasn't expecting. And I think that's the evolution of sound that I was talking about that I really honestly appreciate that they did. I love when a band, doesn't go from release to release sounding the same. And Psych versus Psych, it was like the same time that I got that same jaw drop feeling that I did the first time I heard that random EDM break in that one Versus Me song. It was just, I was like, damn, like I wasn't expecting that at all. And I think that the fact that they have that in their arsenal, I spoke a little bit when we first reviewed the Bad Decisions EP that like they've got something here, and if they continue to expand on it, I could end up liking them. I think I'm still in that phase, but we've definitely gotten closer to where another album cycle or two of ideas and this sort of influence being used. And I think that we are looking at potentially top 10 album of the year material, because there's a lot to like here individually, even if I don't love the songs as a whole.
So let me expand on that, because I think when I said earlier that Honey Revenge are probably dropping the most fun album this year, this is what it's contending with, in my opinion. I cannot name another band that has made depression so much fun.
That is, that is real. That is real.
Because Postcard XO, when you look at the lyrics, it's such a sad song, but it's also so much fun. Like, you get acoustic guitar, you get fucking banjo in that song, you get guitar solos in the middle of a verse for some reason, you got a super fun vocal delivery. It also has a hilarious music video, I might add, but that's a whole other point. Postcard XO is one of my favorite songs on here. My favorite song on here is the track that follows it, Jabberwocky. Really stood out to me as a single last year and still does stand out to me. And I think the big thing that's holding me back with this album is that I listened to so much of it as singles. And as singles, they didn't leave too much of an impact on me. But together, the story that this album provides is so compelling to me that it has basically raised my opinion on every single song on here. You start with Postcard XO, which is basically the title track of Postcard from a Living Hell, which is basically written like a postcard from a living hell. And I think that is fucking awesome, because it starts off with, you get the verse before the chorus where it's just a quick trip down that rabbit hole where thoughts always go, same toxic reverie, awful end to me. Yours respectfully, which is how you would open a postcard. Like, if you're writing a postcard to someone on the back, it's like, yours respectfully, or whatever that, like, declaration to, like, who the postcard is for. Then you get the chorus of, I'm feeling worthless, probably deserve this, so I'll walk through this dark alley home. And it's like, damn. At the end of the chorus, you get, hey, I miss you, wish you well, postcard from a living hell. Which really just sets the tone for this album, because then you get into Jabberwocky, which is about realizing that you're like a victim, and that, like, you've dealt with some shit, basically. I don't know the exact meaning of the song. But the chorus in that is just, wake me up because this isn't real, it's just a bad dream. And just like, you think you're so strong until it happens to you type of thing. And then you follow it up with the third song on the album, Off With Your Head, probably the heaviest song on this album, where it's like, I'm angry, want to kick holes in the walls of this mess. I'm angry that I feel so goddamn powerless. And it's just, that one went straight into my I'm fucking pissed playlist. And it's amazing. I think The Critic is another really compelling song. I didn't spend as much time with it. Imposter, the Yours Truly feature, is a contender for one of my favorite features of the year. Especially Michaela in the final chorus, kind of doing the backing vocals. It's just incredible. I did not spend nearly enough song with Imposter when it came out as a single. Soju, unfortunately, still falls kind of flat for me. It's just not doing too much for me. But then you get to Low Budget Horror, which grew on me a lot from what I thought of it as a single. Really fun song, sick breakdown. And then you get An Intervention, which I feel like depicts the idea of, like, processing everything that you've gone through, of, like, I think that I might need an intervention to, like, get out of this hole. Cycles back to the title track, Postcard XO. It's just a quick trip down that rabbit hole where thoughts always go. And then Inarticulate, I think, is a fun, kind of, like, uplifting song featuring The Fam, which I think that feature is solid as well. However, then it gets to Say, which I think on its own is a great song, but for how compelling the story of this album is from front to back, I don't feel like Say does enough to close it for me. And I think if anything is going to keep this album out of my top 10 of this year, it's going to be that it literally gets to the finish line and then, like, just drops the ball. Which is really disappointing for me to say, because I think it's a fine song as is, but the story that especially this album started out with, that I've been able to piece together, and everything in the middle, Psych versus Psych, I skipped over that song because we'd already kind of talked about it, but My Psych, Your Psych, put him in a ring, let him fight it out to figure out the state we're in, put him in a ring to figure out who's to blame for everything, trying to figure out, like, is it my fault or is it someone else's fault for everything that's been going on? There's so much interconnection between all these songs, and I love how it all came together given how mediocre I was feeling about a lot of these singles. But Say just feels like it feels like something's missing on this album for me. I don't know. I think this is a fantastic debut album. This exceeded all of my expectations. This one really fell through the radar for me. I kind of was like not super interested in it, but by the time it came out and by the time I heard Postcard XO into the first few songs, I really enjoyed this. And while it's not my favorite album of the month, the night that it came out, I was heavily debating it. That's all I have to say about that one. Let's move on. We got 2 albums left.
I was gonna say, I know you're gonna have a lot to say about this next one.
Yeah.
As Everything Unfolds have dropped their sophomore album, Ultraviolet. The follow-up to top 10 album of 2021, Within Each Lies the Other. However, this one, I was not nearly as anticipated for, surprisingly. This is another one of those albums that I feel like it kind of came, and my hype wasn't fully there for some reason. Given that I loved Ultraviolet and Flipside as 2 of my favorite singles of the first 2 months of this year. Maybe it was just that Slow Down didn't leave a huge impact on me. But when I was done with this first album listen, I didn't enjoy it as much as I felt about Within Each Lies the Other. I remember the first time I heard that debut album and I was blown away, and I was not blown away to the same extent when I first heard this album. However, the more I listened to this album, the more I was kind of able to piece things together. The very vague concept is about how with Ultraviolet Light, you can see things that you don't normally see type of thing, like uncovering some of the hidden secrets. So this album gets a little bit more personal. And I think you really start to notice it in songs like Ultraviolet and Felt Like Home in Flipside. I've already talked about a lot of those songs in previous episodes. But Flipside is... I really like that song. The lyricism connects to me about like overthinking and living life on the flip side of like, well, there's a very simple way to process. Like for normal people, it's like there's a very simple way to process information, but then my brain will just like take it and be like, what about this really unrealistic option? That's probably the most realistic one, right? That's me. And that's what Flipside is about. And I love it. And it's also straight into my I'm fucking pissed playlist. And I love it for that. You also get a really awesome interlude to help the pacing of this album with Infrared, leading into Flipside, which I think is great, especially as Flipside is it is the shortest song on this album. Again, I really feel like it helped set the pace for this album. You also get a reference to their debut album on Rose Bouquets in the first verse where it says, "It is without error, certain and most true. What lies within me also lies in you." Which I thought was a really cool little reference. Twilight feels super reminiscent to their past material and was one of the standouts for me on first listen. But the true standout for me is All I've Ever Known, the closer to this album, my favorite album closer of the year, and potentially at this point, my favorite song from As Everything Unfolds, period. That song, when I've been hinting throughout the rest of this episode that songs with guitar solos tend to be some of my favorite songs of this year, I was subtweeting All I've Ever Known at that point. Because my God, the guitar solo that comes in after the first verse, I transcended when I heard that, dude. It's like, for the most part, you get that guitar solo as the bridge before the final chorus, but throwing that guitar solo after the first chorus with like, kind of like, very faint delivery of All I've Ever Known before the drums start kicking and then you get the guitar solo and, it sends me on an emotional roller coaster. The chorus is also an absolute anthem. Humbling my mistakes, remedy I crave. I wish I didn't need to know better. Leaving space to grow, all I've ever known. Particularly that last part of leaving space to grow and didn't need to know better. If you go through this whole album, and describing all these more personal thoughts of the band members and Charlie, who presumably wrote more of this album. I don't know for certain. But that mindset of, I wish I didn't need to know better, and also like leaving space to grow. It's like, I don't know, those two lyrics really connected with me. And being related to the title track of All I've Ever Known, like leaving space to, like, I wish I didn't need to know better. It, like, is all I've ever known, like that phrase kind of just, it hits home to me. And then this album closes out, the final lyric of this album is just, to make me feel again. And it's just, there's a lot of emotion packed into this album if you're willing to dig into it. And it didn't connect with me when I first listened to it, but the more I listened to the songs on this album and I started to piece together the picture, I think there's a lot to enjoy here. I still do not think it is as good as Within Each Lies the Other, but I do think that this is an incredible album. And for fans of female-fronted post-hardcore bands, and you're not listening to As Everything Unfolds, you're doing something wrong.
Man, after that, I don't want to say this, but it's too British for me.
What the? Actually, you know what? I said shit was too German earlier. I can't talk. We just hate Europeans. Is this a psyop by Jacob to make us less?
Well, I'm like the
Canada?
number one Deep Token enthusiast. Come on.
Well, no, I'm saying we're redirecting the Canada hate to Europe.
You're
Trying to take the attention away.
In the Europe.
Actually, isn't that the whole thing that they're not in the Europe?
Yeah, in the Europe. That's what I was trying to say. They're not in Europe anymore.
I think that this is way better than why am I blanking? Jake, the name of the album.
Other?
Yes. When I heard that album, I didn't save anything, and I thought, this band is going to put out an album that I am going to enjoy next time. And they did. I really like this. I think that it definitely starts off with I think the last 3 songs are the best. And I think that the first 3 songs are also very good, and the middle kind of falls flat, and that's what leaves me wanting more from this album. But with that said, I mean, this is like leagues better. And there were points on, even with saying that the middle falls flat, there was never a point on this album where I was bored. And I still don't feel like, I know it's only, 37 minutes or something like that, but I don't think that it feels its runtime at all.
It definitely went by very fast.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a testament to how good and engaging this album is. I definitely think that this is going to be the one, maybe in a couple months from now. I just have this feeling that there's going to be a song on here that blows up and their monthly listeners are going to skyrocket. I really think that there's going to be something here that puts As Everything Unfolds into that larger conversation. Maybe not in the same way as like a Spiritbox or like Wage War or anything like that, but this kind of post-hardcore metalcore blend. I think they are on the same track as Future Palace in terms of maybe 5 years from now, we are going to see them paving the way for the next upcoming bands, honestly, in this genre, because they're doing a lot of things right and they're doing it very early in their career. Also, shout out the Purple Aesthetic. I know we've said it when we're doing the singles and stuff, but it's like, you can't beat Purple as an aesthetic, man.
Black and Purple is such an underrated color scheme.
Yeah, shout out Spiritbox. Woo.
I was about to say, I played this after this album. The Void was the first song that came on. So Spotify knows what's up. They're purpling me out. It's my favorite color, though, so I can't complain.
I don't
Does
know
that take us
to
the last album?
All right, y'all. Hit me with it.
Crown the Empire have released, I think this is their 5th album, could be wrong, Dogma. Which I surprisingly enjoyed more than I thought I would.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't save any of the singles from this, but I did save a couple of songs that were on this album.
Man, fuck
There's
the
a very
singles.
there's a very clear standout to me. I don't know if it'll align with you guys, but
The singles did not give this much to work with, unfortunately for me.
yeah, I don't think the
but-
singles did a very good job at representing what this album actually is.
Absolutely
I think-
not. The
yeah.
non-singles were wonderful. I really liked
Oh,
the non-singles.
Okay.
My favorites being Labyrinth and Modified.
So I need to listen to this then, because I hadn't heard it because I loved Sudden Sky, and
hmm
the singles weren't. Besides In Another Life, which I still really like. I know that's not a popular opinion, but
Not anymore.
okay, good.
Context of the album has definitely changed my opinion on In Another Life.
Okay, sweet, perfect.
I think the only single that I still don't enjoy is Immortalize.
I truthfully stopped listening to a lot of the singles because they were boring me, and there were also like other things and circumstances going on with the band. And so, I was ready to not give this a try. But right off the bat here, if we've got positive reviews and different aspects from you guys, especially on the non-singles, then I'm definitely gonna have to listen to this.
Yeah, I'll agree with Justin. I think the non-singles are definitely the
best,
highlight. Like Modified Paranoid and Superstar, all like actually that 4-track run of Modified Paranoid, In Another Life, and Superstar. Oh my,
Superstar's the worst song on the album.
no,
Damn.
no, it is not.
Well,
I would
that
say
will
it's the
check
best
out
song.
because Battle Royale kind of sucks. So.
It is. I
Yeah.
think it's the best song on the album.
Really.
Yeah.
It does not fit the album. IMO.
It doesn't sound like a collab that would fit. Like, I wouldn't
doesn't.
expect that at all.
So to completely break this chain, my favorite song on this is Someone Else. Right
That's another
before
good one.
Closer. That was the first song on this album that I listened to, and I'm like, wait, I'm actually enjoying this like from the start. Whereas the other songs that I ended up adding in Modified and Paranoid, it took me until like a little bit later in the song to be like, okay, I like this. Someone Else, from the get-go, I was like, oh yeah, I like this. And it's definitely, I mean, I really haven't spent that much time with any of these songs. But Someone Else, definitely the one I've spent the most time with of the three.
Man, this is weird. Justin says the non-singles are the best, then he says Superstar's the worst.
Yeah, because
We're getting mixed signals here.
No, doesn't fit with the fucking.
I think it fits
Album.
well, actually.
I think it doesn't fit, and it's the middle of the album. It's just really weird. I would expect it to like be like 3 or 4, not like 6.
Mm. I'm now suddenly very interested in this.
I think it would like some parts of this.
I think the whole like the album in context really helps the signals.
Mm.
And it's almost it's like a similar situation to Color Decay, but not as extreme.
Okay.
Where the singles don't really represent the album, and it ends up making it better
Mm.
when you
Okay.
listen to it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, you know what? I honestly, even if the hype up to them isn't as strong, I really do actually enjoy albums like that because it gives me more what feels like new material to enjoy,
Mhm.
So
I don't think this is their best album. I still think the Fallout hold a special place in my heart.
that is it's such a classic album.
Yeah. I would say I think the Fallout, Sudden Sky, and then this. That's 3. Oh, that feels wrong. I don't know. This is okay. It's better than I expected, and I'm happy about that.
I thought it would be super generic, so I was glad to be wrong. But it's still not better than Sun Sky.
This was an interesting first Crown the Empire album
Are
experience.
you kidding me? Jake,
What?
we're giving you a map.
A map to Sudden Sky? I
Yes.
might need a ladder for
And the
that one.
Fallout.
I might need a ladder for that one too.
I think that closes it off, ends off the episode.
April 2023. You know, we missed it last month because I think we were too busy catching up on all of our stuff from March. But technically, our last episode was the 3-year anniversary of us starting this thing, which is
God,
crazy.
Jeez. Fucking COVID.
Yeah,
Crazy.
we're into year 4 of this.
That feels weird.
Yeah.
That's a weird statement that you just said.
Yeah. April was certainly one of the months of this year. I feel like there's a lot of mixed opinions thrown around tonight.
Hmm.
Will that change? You'll have to find out next month.
Absolutely not.
Oh, May's stacking up to be the best month for albums.
Isn't?
There's a
Has
lot.
potential.
I don't remember what's coming out in May.
We got
Well, I
Current.
know this Friday is Current's Grandson and Cyan Kicks.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
don't
there's a
care
lot.
about those.
And then
Damn.
I don't know what else is dropping this week. but-
We got Veil of Maya the next week.
Yep.
Mm.
No, not for me.
Sweep
going.
Tonka.
No,
Yeah, that's the
keep
week
going.
after.
So what you're saying is
Nothing for
not the
Justin.
best. Not the best month. No, actually, we got a revival coming this Friday that I'm super excited for.
True.
So singles are probably going to be where I thrive again,
Like usual.
as it should be.
And you might be seeing us before the May recap. Most likely.
Dun, dun, dun.
Perhaps.
Mayhaps.
Mayhaps.
Hate.
That's a good usage of the word mayhaps.
Hate.
I'm rocking with Mayhaps. Hold
All
on
right,
until
thank
Mayhaps.
you for listening to our shenanigans once again. That's going to conclude the April 2023 recap. Be sure to follow us on social media at Hivemind Radio _ on Instagram and Twitter. Hivemind Radio recap on Spotify. Hivemind Radio on YouTube. Help us get to 100 subscribers. Thank you for listening once again, and we will see you next month or maybe even sooner. You have to subscribe to stay tuned.
Mayhaps.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.